Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Mini Studios. Good morning, everybody. A happy Victory Monday to all across the Delaware Valley. And I got to tell you, I'm over the moon with this defense. I love this defense. We wondered, what's their identity? What's the Eagles' identity? Last year, they were a downhill run team, right? We go, well, they're going to run the great O-line. Saquon, be who you are. Be a downhill run team. This year, who are you? You're a defensive team. You're the 85 Bears. Oh, this defense is ridiculous. Ridiculous. What they did last night to Jared Goff, Little Hands was melting. Oh, it was awesome. Swat, 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 swat. Oh, it was incredible. I thought I was watching Embiid. Swat, 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 swat. Jordan Davis, swat, swat. Jalen Carter, swat, swat. Oh, man, between pass deflections and just in their grill, that front, listen, Howie is a genius. I mean, he just is. The Jalen Phillips was the perfect signing. Like, we've said this, but like it played out last night again. Phillips was out of his mind last night. And it's that whole defense. You got Dean healthy. He was ridiculous last night. Zach Bond all over the field, right? Linebackers. I love it. We got real linebackers. Look at them. They were amazing. That defense is BG with a big play last night. Quinion shuts down St. Brown. Oh, my. And all of them, one after another. Ojobo. They kept going fourth down. Go for it. And they just get stuffed. That's who it is. Their identity has revealed itself. They are just about defense. As putrid as the offense can be, it doesn't matter. They got a defense, man. They stuffed two really good offenses. I don't care what anybody says about the Packers and all. Like, guess what? They shut them down. And they shut that Lions team down last night. Other than Gibbs, who's ridiculous, they shut him down. They shut Montgomery down. All the play action, nothing. If not for Gibbs getting loose on a couple passes, I mean, they shut him down. St. Brown, 2 for 2 catches. That's it. Quinion just all over him. How about Adoree Jackson? Made 2 plays last night. 2 pass defenses last night for Adoree. Oh, wow. I love this defense. Thank God for Vic Fangio. Thank God. Listen, he, along with Howie, has put together a defense that can win the Super Bowl, no matter what the offense looks like. No matter how bad the offense looks, no matter how many stupid calls Nick Sirianni makes, it doesn't matter. The Vic washes it. Fangio and that defense just makes everything look pretty. It just does. It's amazing that you have that little invested on that side of the ball and they're that good. I mean, it's a testimony to Fangio, to Howie, drafting, free agent signing. Like, they're awesome. I love defense. I love defense. And I love watching this team play. Carter and Jordan Davis, how about the year that kid has had? God bless him. Came in, he just woke up. Career on the line, disappointment. And he's come in and he has been a stud. playing snaps, trimmed down. After the game, he gets interviewed. First of all, I love Jalen Phillips. I just love that kid. I love listening to him. He's a breath of fresh air. Beautiful kid. Just great kid. I love him. Love him. And then Jordan Davis. What do you think the difference? Oh, well, it's about attention to detail. Gave all the right answers. Oh my God. I was just like, God, I love this kid. Two of them last night. Just tremendous. Tremendous. You go around and you talk to these kids, they're just amazing. I love this defense. Love it. Now, offensively, I mean, obviously they got issues. Patullo, Jalen, I mean, the run game. Now, again, Lane's out. He gets hurt again. Cam's out again. But the offense was bad. The only thing that really gets me is Sirianni going for it. He almost lost the game. That ridiculous nonsense of going for it in that situation. This is twice in 2 weeks. He put the game in peril. What are you doing? Punt the freaking ball. What are you doing? I mean, egregious. I mean, absolutely egregious call. And he's, if that's in the defense, we're bailing my ass out. Dude, enough. You're going to put us in peril. Stop with the ridiculous calls. Twice in 2 weeks. He put the game back in peril. They've been stuffing the tush push all night. You've been having trouble. You got guys in and out of the O-line, right? Guys are hurt. You're struggling with the tush push. Just punt the ball. You're up 2 scores. You give the ball to the Lions and your own 30. All you needed was one throw, touchdown, 3 and out, kick a field goal. We're going to overtime. That's how close that game. He almost screwed that game up. And he got bailed out by the defense. And last night he just kind of sloughed over it. And he's going to do the same thing today. Enough with that nonsense. I got to get this man right here to overrule him. All right, with his ridiculous calls, hubris calls. Let me go for it on 4th down. Stop. Just listen to Fangio. All right, listen to Fangio. The only reason why this is a Super Bowl team is because of Fangio and that defense, Howie. That's it. Because the way this offense is run, it's so bad, so bad. Play design's bad. Quarterback play, bad. Just awful. Awful. I mean, get rid of the freaking ball, Jalen. Get rid of the ball. And then Patullo is just awful. One more inside zone run, that's not going to work. There's no, I see nothing. Nothing creative. Oh, brutal. Brutal. I mean, it's amazing. He's 14 to 28 for 135 yards. Devontae Smith. So this is my ultimate. What are you doing? The Lions secondary. There's no Terry and Arnold. It's beset by injuries. Why aren't you going downfield? And not just let me throw the low percentage outside the numbers along the sidelines throw. Why are you attacking the middle of the field, down the field? That's where they're wide open. They got issues in the back end. Why are you attacking it? Bubble screens. Forget that. Forget going horizontal. Go vertical. When you have a beleaguered secondary, go vertical. It's as joyous as the defense makes us, the offense is just maddening. I don't understand the Patullo mindset. Let me run Saquon 50 times into the middle of the line. What are you doing? You got a team that's got a good front seven. You got a team that has beat up corners. Why aren't you attacking the weakness? I don't understand it. It's crazy to me. Crazy. I don't understand what you're doing. Makes no sense. But thank God for this defense. Jared Goff, 14 of 37. 14 of 37. Ah, that was awesome. Good morning, VG.
I don't know why. Right? It feels almost like Patullo and Nick, they just do what they do, and they don't watch film, and they don't try and attack other teams' weaknesses. They're like, this is our offense, and we're just going to do it every week.
Yeah, because it works so well.
Same thing every week. Eventually, it's going to work.
You get my point, right?
Yeah,
like
I get your point.
I got a secondary that's wounded. I thought, now stupid me, I thought Jalen would throw for 240 yesterday. 2 touchdowns. You know what I said on Friday?
Yeah, I think we all thought that.
I thought, oh, man, against that wounded secondary, Devontae Smith got 1 catch.
Well, that's outrageous.
1 catch.
But, I mean,
were you serious?
When you watch it, though, in its totality.
I know it. Listen, I know it was windy.
Yeah, because when you look at both sides of the ball, no one could throw it.
It wasn't as windy on the field as it was. Like up where you saw like flags going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't that windy on the field. I mean, there was gusts.
I mean, it seemed to affect both, though. Like, I know Goff had 200 and something yards, but a lot of that's like runs after catches. He wasn't going deep either. I think the wind had. I have to believe the wind had something to do with it.
No, but my point is that it wasn't like it was in Cleveland yesterday. Right. It wasn't like that. It wasn't.
But you got a guy who, I mean, he throws a nice deep ball, but he's never been a guy with an overpowering arm. So if he's lofting his deep balls up in the winds,
I can't do the excuse thing. I can't do it. There's no excuses last night. None. That's just horrible. First of all, the OC is lost. He's just lost. I just don't even understand it. And they're going to use every excuse in the book. He's lost. And the quarterback, he frustrates me the way he plays the position. He just use him as a running back.
All right, you were down there, so
he's got to run. He's got to be part of the run game. This defense is too good. They can win it. He's got to be part of the run game.
Did you have access because you were down there? Did you not? Did you hear the broadcast at all?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Collinsworth sounded like you and him were hanging out.
Oh, really?
Beforehand.
No.
And he's like, Jalen's got to run the ball. That's what makes this offense go. This is what made him a Super Bowl. He's like, Jalen, they got to get back to RPOs. Collinsworth was banging the drum the whole show.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Yeah. But how many times did I bring that up all season?
That's why I was like, it sounds like Cusman hanging out with Collinsworth.
That's been your narrative the entire season.
I mean, here's the thing. Because that's the kind of quarterback he is. Well, how come in 2022 when they went to the Super Bowl? Why? Because how many times did I explain it? It's RPOs. Mm-hmm. Why? Because receivers had separation. So when he was throwing the ball, there was big gaping windows, wide open receivers.
Right.
That's why. But against tight coverage, he's not going to throw. He's not going to complete. He's not that kind of quarterback. He's got to be part of the run game.
100%. And Collinsworth's like, I've talked to defensive coordinators around the league. That's what makes this offense so dangerous is when he's running the ball. And it's got to be running the ball. It was 4 or 5 times he mentioned it, right?
Oh, easy 4 or 5 times.
Coordinators around the league. How many times have I said this all for the last how many years?
Dude, it's like that one play is like 3rd and 5. They end up going deep to Granson. Like, what is he even on the field for at that point? They have no good blocking tight ends. Like, they're a mess. They really are a mess. Just run out of 11. Like, I don't understand what they're doing.
I don't get it. I don't know. Between the OC, you just can't figure it out. You just can't figure it out.
It was like the battle of the boneheads last night, too. With I guess Nick just thinks like you're a sissy if you punt. There's just no reason to punt. No reason at all. And Dan Campbell's like, we're going to convert a 4th at some point.
But listen, I don't blame Dan Campbell. That's who he is. And by the way, I don't blame him a little bit. Like, he forced the issue. You got to go down. You're on the road against that defense. You got to take swings. I didn't have any issue the way he coached the game. I mean, listen, that's who they are, right? He didn't. I mean, what was it, one field goal he didn't go for?
Yeah, they were 4th down on like the third or something like that, where they went for
that was it,
and they missed.
Otherwise, he was going for it around the 40-yard line and never bit him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my beef is with Sirianni because you imperil the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Give it. You're handing them the ball in field goal position.
2 weeks in a row. And the tush push wasn't working.
Well, of course,
you got guys in and out of the O-line.
Right. You're totally banged up.
Right? You got all kinds of – what are you doing?
He's just got it in his head, man, where he's got to be super aggressive, I think.
Sometimes I want to put him in the closet. I swear to God.
He needs the closet.
I want Fangio to coach the team.
Well, WWFD, what would Fangio do? That should be the mantra down
closet
there,
time,
right?
for sure.
Because Fangio's the one I trust. I
Right.
feel like I go, there's an adult in the room.
Right.
Right? Like there's an adult running things when Fangio's around. I just feel so much better.
You don't think if you ask Vic's like, yeah, give it a shot. I want the ball. I want them to have the ball on the 29-yard line. You think Vic's cool with that?
Why would you do that? Why?
I don't know, man. It's like his uber aggressiveness. I don't know. Maybe he's not the smartest guy in the world.
I mean, I just don't understand it. But I don't want to get lost in the offensive struggles because I love this defense. I just love it. I love those kids. I love their defense. I love it.
I feel good right now. I mean, I know they had their struggles. I'm trying to put it in context without panicking. If this happens this week, I'll probably panic. But we've seen it struggle against really good defense. These are top 10 defenses they're playing. The Broncos were really good. They're top 10. The Vikings are top 10. The Lions, the Packers. So, yeah, I mean, we saw Mahomes look terrible yesterday. The Chiefs offense looked terrible against that Broncos defense. They got the Cowboys coming up. If the offense can't do anything against the Cowboys, I'll panic. But right now, they're in slugfest with really good defenses. And we said all along, 10 points ain't going to be enough to beat the Lions. You know what? It was enough to beat the Lions.
This isn't about the offense. It's about the defense.
Sorry.
You have to look at who they're playing as well.
But I disagree with you. I disagree with you. You are playing a team with a wounded secondary. All right? Even the Packers were a team that was wounded on offense, which trickles down to your defense. You got to do better offensively. This is not you just can't go, well, the offense is okay. We play good defenses. That's ridiculous.
They
saw
the top level defenses, and they have windy conditions.
Take the goggles off. I don't want to see it here.
No, what's more impressive is that they play really good offense.
I know. I get it. You're a fan. I understand it. All right?
I mean, you can't ignore the fact that they're really good defenses we play. We've been hearing all along how good the Packers defense was.
Look at the offenses that we played. This Detroit Lions team is third in the league in total points.
Stop trying to alibi for of all alibis.
I'm not making an alibi.
You are. You're alibiing for a horrific offensive play. That's what you're doing. You're alibi. Oh, we played a good defense. Oh, really? You played a good defense with no second. Your best secondary corner out.
Yeah, but the Lions, their offense looked terrible, and Jordan Love, the almighty Jordan Love, looked average against us. I mean, good defenses do that.
I'm praising the Eagles' defense. The Eagles' defense is what needs to be praised.
I agree.
Not alibiing for the offense, which between the play caller and the quarterback, their stuff has to change.
100% agree with you.
Okay, well, then stop alibiing because it's unbecoming. I don't want to hear about, the Packers defense is so good and the Lions defense is so good. I saw.
I mean, it's not in a vacuum.
Yes, it is. I saw horrific execution, bad execution. I saw a game plan that was nonsense, senseless. I got no patience for that. None. What I got is all the love in the world for that defense because that defense is a Super Bowl. The Eagles can win the Super Bowl on that defense alone.
100% agree. Is Jalen Phillips the greatest midseason acquisition? Thank God Zadarius Smith retired. That was like a blessing that he retired.
It was a huge
right.
I love that kid. I absolutely love him. I love him. They are so strong. And if you got a Dory Jackson playing like that,
making plays like, I'm like, why is he on St. Brown? He's making plays.
2 plays.
I know.
First of all, Q's unbelievable. Q is ridiculous. What he played his ass off last night. Cooper was sensational back in play.
Nakobe Dean was sensational last night. He was covering those wide receivers. He was on Williamson in some of those plays, and he was keeping up with them. Nakobe Dean, who just got back from an injury. Outrageous.
Twice he got caught. He got isolated on Williams, and he got isolated on Gibbs.
Yeah.
And was right there. It was unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to bring this up. Why you got Q? Q didn't allow a reception on any of his 6 targets, tied for the most targets without allowing a reception in the game over the last 2 seasons. Mitchell has allowed 41.9% completion percentage this season, the lowest by any player since 2018.
I mean,
it's 7 years.
He's Q Island.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to talk about Guantanamo and all that stuff? That's all real.
Mm-hmm.
He's that good. He's like you're watching Revis.
And Nolan Smith back. And Dean, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be hard if they don't keep Dean. The way he's playing.
Oh, you got to keep him. You got to keep him.
I don't think they can afford to. I don't think they can afford to.
Well, you know what? It's about time you invest. You got to invest in defense. I'm sorry.
I agree. And, shout out to whoever it was, if it's Fangio, whatever, who figured out that Goff's got the low arm slot, and they worked on it all week. They were deflecting passes all week in practice.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
And that was Fangio.
Right. And
Again,
you don't hear anything like that happening on the other side. Like, oh, we noticed this, and we're going to work on attacking that.
And that's a Super Bowl defense. That was awesome. All right, lots to get to. EJ coming up. The Brain, Franny Films, and a Murphy Monday packed for you today. And I just love defense. We're getting our wish. Last year, we wanted to be a run team, right? We love running the football in Philadelphia, and we had good defense.
Mm-hmm.
This year, you know how much we love defense. We're getting our wish. That's why I don't want to complain about I don't want an alibi for him because it's hard to watch. But I don't want to focus on it because I don't want to. The gift that this defense is. This is a dream defense. I got linebackers.
More linebackers than we need.
This is a dream defense. Dream.
Oh, and also, I know but props to Jake Elliott, man. He was, in difficult conditions, he was money last night.
All right, lots to get to. Let's take care of some business.
Hey, parents, the holidays coming up fast. And it's the perfect time to teach your kids a little something about money, and Greenlight makes that easy. Greenlight's the all-in-one money app and debit card made just for families. It helps kids learn to spend wisely, save for what matters, and build smart money habits, all with you calling the plays. And here's the best part. TrueMark Financial Credit Union members get a free custom card with their free Greenlight subscription, and that's a $79.99 value. Not a member yet? Not a problem. You can open an account online or at any of the TrueMark Financial's 24 branches and score this exclusive offer. With Greenlight, you'll get real-time spending alerts, easy controls, and an instant on-off switch on your kids' cards. They don't do good in school? Turn the card off. They do well? Turn it back on. Plus, kids can earn on their savings and manage chores and allowance right there all in the app. So make this holiday season a win. Visit TrueMark.com/Greenlight for all the details and get started today. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, let's talk about Cherry Hill Jeep. Yeah, you looking for a Jeep or Ram truck? There's only one dealership in South Jersey who has been the market leader since 1967. Our friends at Cherry Hill Jeep. All right, listen to this. Take advantage of True Zero offer. 0 down payment, 0 first month payment, 0 security deposit. Now through July 31st, actually now through the rest of the year. You kidding me? Slide into a 2025 Jeep Wrangler this month, $289 a month. Every Wrangler delivers strong drivetrains, innovative engineering, quality components that underpin this icon's legendary heritage. It's like the Eagles D. Drive home your new Jeep or Ram truck today. Just minutes from all bridges. Available online, cherryhilljeep.com. Go see them. All right, that's Dante. Cherry Hill Jeep is a folk auto dealership, right? Charlie Folk, it's my man. All right, he's been doing it. Family dealership for over 50 years, all right, in South Jersey. And Charlie's the best, man. He loves his customers. You got to check it out. Go see Dante. He's going to hook you up. He'll give you the cuz discount. I know people buy Jeeps and Ram trucks elsewhere. I just don't know why.
No clue. Hey, before we get moving, Kevin Every Jr. in the chat says, not old enough to have watched Jim Johnson defense. Is this what it was like?
Different. Jim Johnson was more of a blitzing, attacking defense, so it was different. They had great players. They were always in attack mode. Mm-hmm. this defense, Vic's scheme is different, right? It's not meant to blitz. This defense is better. Like it's better because you got stability at linebacker. The secondary, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the secondary is better. Between Cooper and Quinion, they anchor a better secondary. It's a great we should do this tomorrow, go man for man. But right now, and the D-line is better. It just is. I mean, I love that D-line and Hugh and Hollis and, but this D-line's better. I think, and it just works with Vic's scheme. Awesome. It's awesome. All right. The big deal is, of course, the Eagles defense. And joining us to talk about it, our man, E.J. Smith on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line.
Give me that E, give me a J, give me an E.J. Give me that E.J. Smith.
There he is.
E.J.
What is it, my brother?
What's going on, guys? I mean, this team defies logic in a lot of ways. They win in ways that we could not have imagined going in. But, I mean, listen, 8-2, tiebreaker against a lot of the best teams in the conference. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk through this with you guys. I feel like I need to like debrief after watching that game.
Well, and here's the bottom line, and they hold the tiebreaker against everybody that's any good except for Seattle. I mean, I don't believe in the Bears. But here's the deal. That defense, EJ, what you're watching is special. That defense is probably could be one of the best defenses since the Ravens defense in this century.
Yeah, I mean, you see dominant defenses across the league, and we've seen different iterations of the Eagles' defense play at a high level. But like it really is hard to overstate what they did the last 2 weeks. You know, they held two of the best teams in the conference to just 16 points, and did so without the offense putting them in good positions to do that. And you know, especially last night to hold Detroit to 0 for 5 on fourth down, it's huge. And you know, it's funny. I said this on the postgame show, like. It feels like this is kind of like the perfect marriage or the perfect storm with Vic Fangio and Howie Roseman, because you think about like the way the Eagles defense is built, and it's like they have a secondary that Vic can do what he does with. And then they have a linebacking core for the first time ever. Like Howie doesn't value linebackers, but Vic is like, we need linebackers in this scheme, right? So Howie goes out, he gets Jahmyr Campbell, you know, I mean, they kind of, you know, they strike lightning in a bottle with Zach Bond here. And then they have Nakobe Dean playing at an insanely high level to the point where he's back on the field. But then you also look at the defensive front, right? And they really wrecked the game because of the fact that that's how Howie likes to build a defense. So
hands up,
the fact
hands up.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that they're so complete on three levels is really different.
Howie's more along the edge guy. He's an edger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, you're right. Like you guys, a lot of guys inside.
He likes to have those two D tackles too.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I agree.
Still, I mean, they're a very talented group, and it really speaks to like the drafting that Howie has done the last few years because it's a young group.
Ojabo.
But again, it's a lot of it's built in Fangio's image, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt. And by the way, this is where Howie, and I started the show with it, Phillips unlocks all this. Like that was such, like you can't say enough about it, that acquisition, because Phillips is a great, I got a man for, I love the kid. All right. I love that. I love his attitude. I love hearing him talk, because he's exactly how I would want my Anthony and my Massimo to talk after a game. It's exactly, I look at them like now because I have kids who play, that I always look at it like that. And I love this kid, man. He's such a stud. He fits so perfectly what they do. Now all of a sudden, when you get pressure from the front, you already got great linebacking play, and you got great secondary play. And Dory Jackson, EJ, was terrific last night.
Yeah, I mean it's really remarkable what pressure can do for a secondary. You know, we talked to Adoree Jackson after the game, and he was one of several defensive backs that was really quick to point out the fact that the Eagles' defensive line really controlled this game and how much that changes things for them on the back end. And you're right with Phillips; it's like he is an ideal fit both in play personality, but also like the draft pedigree, the physical traits. I mean, he just pops out there. You know, he is just, and you can tell like I think the reason why this has gone so well for the Eagles is because this guy is clearly like taking advantage of this opportunity. You think of, last season they had a lot of guys on 1-year deals on defense that had to prove it. Zach Bond being one that stands out. Like Jalen Phillips is in the same situation. He's playing for a contract, and this is kind of, he's talked about, this is like the first time in a long time in his career that he feels like he's playing in real games with high stakes, and he's making the most out of it. So
I got to tell you, like I'm getting greedy. Like I want Dean back, and I want Phillips back.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, Phillips, I could see Phillips.
I could totally see Phillips. I know.
Dean is tough, man, because it's like he is playing so well.
I know.
He's playing so well that you almost think like the Eagles just don't like let guys like that walk, but at the same time they don't have a spot for him. Campbell played even less last night, and it's not like Campbell was playing bad. It's not like he deserved.
Dean's out of his mind.
Yeah,
dude, he gets matched up with Williams, and he gets matched up with Gibbs.
Yeah,
and both times he was there. Now the front hurried Goff on the play, but still he was there.
Yeah, and let me just say really quick, seeing Gibbs in person, man, oh my God.
He's the best.
That guy is just different. I mean, Nick said it after the game. It was kind of funny. He said that he said he's one of the best running backs in the league. He said he probably wouldn't take anybody except for Saquon over Gibbs. And I don't disagree with him, but I mean, this guy coached Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis, so I thought that was quite the statement.
But he's a different type of player. I mean,
he
Taylor's
can turn a 10-yard gain into
a
an
runner, and this kid can run between the tackles, but he's death in the pass game. Like he's Marshall Faulk. Like he's better than Faulk. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean him and Williams. It really is like a testament to how well the Eagles played because him, Williams, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. I mean, it's funny. Vic said earlier in the week that the Lions' offensive line was the best in the NFL. It almost seems like in hindsight that was a challenge for the Eagles' defensive front, and they talked about it. They talked about this being a statement performance for them.
Yeah, I love the fact they had their hands up, swat. I was watching Embiid in his prime. Jordan Davis, swat. Carter, swat. It was awesome. It was awesome. I got to ask you this because I wanted to go. I wanted to go and just scream in Nick's face. All right, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you cannot. The way guys are going in and out of the O-line, they're hurt, banged up.
Yeah.
The Lions played it perfectly. They had a formula for it, right? Like they were able to get push. Why would you go for it in that situation? It makes no sense.
You know what's interesting too is like after the Packers game, he was pretty defiant and pretty like just like he was convicted in the decision he made against the Packers on fourth down there, like on that 4th and 6, the deep shot to AJ. This time he was far less, convicted in what he had decided to do. He kind of wavered. He said that, anytime it doesn't work, you're always going to second guess it. And, that he kind of put it on himself there. So to me, my read on that was that he does realize that one wasn't the right call. And obviously
I don't know.
The fact
I don't know,
halfway,
dude. This is 2 weeks in a row. And he didn't even bring up punting. You got to freaking punt. When you look, you got to look at the time. You just look at the time.
And look the way the defense is playing in this instance, and the fact that, I mean, even if you had the utmost confidence in your defense, you're giving them the ball in field goal range. I mean, the Lions went backwards and still kicked the field goal, which is why it's prohibitive there. You're handing them points essentially if you don't get it. He talked about the fact they got halfway to the marker on 3rd down, but again, he did not come out and say this was the right decision. My big takeaway from it is he's an emotional like 4th down decision guy. He's not like he doesn't go off the chart. He doesn't go off analytics. He doesn't have the MIT graduate in the booth telling him what to do. And that does always leave you open for mistakes because you're just not, you don't have like a core philosophy behind it. It's a lot more about faith in players and feel for the game. And sometimes that's gonna bite you.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think everything you said 100%. But it's not faith in your player. Like it's just,
Yeah.
It's not a feel for the game. Like the feel for the game is, all right, fourth down, I'm going to punt. Like I don't need to look at a chart to tell me whether to punt or not. Like I know that.
Yeah, that's
God
a good point.
forbid I run a play that hasn't been money tonight. It hasn't been money, right? So worst case scenario, I make a 2-score game a 1-score game. And by the way, he got bailed out. That was not pass interference. Pass interference at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Detroit should have had the ball yet again with 1 timeout and 1:40 to go.
Right. And this is the second week in a row this has happened. Obviously, like the fact that the result has papered over it. But no, I mean, it's strange, especially this is supposed to be Nick's. That's supposed to be one of his strong suits is, game management. And it has not been each of the last 2 weeks. Obviously, he's fortunate it didn't actually cost them. But I mean, especially like in the grand scheme of things, like when you zoom out, like, that Jeffrey Lurie really values this stuff. He really cares about game management. And honestly, he would lean toward the analytics in these types of situations. So I always file that away. It's like the Eagles won the last 2 games, but that's something that Lurie will care about. It's something that will be important.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
I know that. I gotta get this guy to overrule him at times. Like, no, dude, no punt.
Yeah, honestly,
punt.
that would make sense. Have him be the 4th down decision guy.
Just punt. All right, yo, Nick, no punt. Punt, Nick. All right. Let's get to the offense and kind of. So this is what I didn't get about the game plan. You have a secondary that's wounded. No Terry Arnold. They're beat up back there, right? Yeah. Branch was out a couple times. What are you doing? Why aren't you attacking the secondary? Even like go in with all those middle zone runs, all those short throws. Go down the field. Low percentage throws on the sidelines. My God, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Eagles' offense in 2025. They've tried different versions of it. It felt like they had made progress going into the bye week with this under center play action stuff. But the thing that stands out is that like they just don't do anything well. They're they're an incredibly talented group. But if you think about it, like what do they lean on? Like they can't. They're not a run first team this year. The way that they were last year, that's not who they are this year. They don't have the RPO game. They don't have the play action game. They don't have the conventional drop back. Jalen Hurts is the point guard playing in space. They don't have a single thing that you can say, okay, if things start to go poorly, like they can lean on that. And that helps explain why they lead the NFL in 3 and outs, despite all the talent that they have. So to me, like
how
last
nuts
night,
is that? Dude,
yeah,
they're 8 like we think about that. You're 8-2 and lead the league in 3 and outs. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And it's like, to me, I don't know, like it's not a nice thing to say, but it's like I feel like they went back to square one last night. Like, because to me, like they haven't figured it out. Like even after the game, Jalen Hurts talked about like they're still on their search for the identity. And it's like they're going into week 12 and they just don't have.
Now, their identity is defense. They're a defensive team.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That's who they
like
are.
AJ said,
they're the 85 Bears.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy because of how much talent they have, but I think I completely agree. Like AJ said that the offense can't let the defense paper it over. Let be a Band-Aid, right? Yes. I think that they are the Band-Aid. They're the best Band-Aid in the history of Band-Aids. Like if it's a Band-Aid you put on, you just don't take it off. So I think they can win this way. But
yes, they're the Ravens with Dilfer at quarterback. I mean that's the truth.
Oh no!
But by the way, here's what the only thing I disagree is about the RPO. Jalen has to be a part. I've been saying this, banging my head I've been saying it forever. Be a part of the run game. He's got to be a part of the run game. That's the only thing that can work. He's not going to. First of all, the OC's lost, and some of his throws are just horrible. Like, just put him back in the run game because then the windows will be a little bit more wide open.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a huge part of it. We've talked about it a lot. They obviously had the QB draws, and it kind of felt like they did get something going out of empty for a stretch there in the game. And I think that, the quarterback draw really opens things up in out of those formations. But I just, it is confounding to me that it has become such a small part of what they do. Like maybe glass half full here, like when the stakes are a little bit higher and in the big moments, maybe that's when they unlock that part of the play sheet and it does unlock something for them. But again, they need to figure out what it is that they want to be offensively. They've tried different iterations last night. Obviously, they tried to run it through AJ, and it has none of it's worked. I think Bo has talked a lot about this offense needs to revolve around Devontae, and then AJ is kind of the shots receiver. He's kind of the big play guy. I mean, Devontae only had one catch for 5 yards last night, or I think it was 8 yards for it last night. He had 5 targets. So, and it wasn't a great Devontae game. Like he had he had the drop. The opening series. I mean, you can decide if you call that a drop, but I just think they haven't figured out what it is that they're going to be. They've tried a lot of different things. They haven't found it.
You're right, but here's the issue, right? Do you? Because I sometimes I want to bang my head against the wall, right? I'm freaking it freaks me out sometimes. It's so ridiculous, When I look at them and I go, all right, if I'm a defense, I never play them press man, right? Like I would never play them press man and allow those, because there are a couple times Detroit played press on the outside. And AJ caught a slant. I mean, you got to drop and flood his zone against them because they can't figure it out. Patullo can't figure it out, and Jalen can't execute it.
Yeah, and these guys have talked a lot about the unscouted looks that they have to deal with, but I don't know. To me, it's like as a coach, that's your job. Is
unscouted looks is the most. I don't want to hear that shit.
You have to have contingency
all right,
plans.
Because I can tell you what other teams are going to do.
Right.
I know your own weakness. If you know your own weakness, you know how they're going to play you. What are we doing here? Know your weakness. Charlie Manuel used to say it. Know thyself. Know who you are, and you'll figure out the answer. Hey, when I hear him say that, is another time I want to go around the throat.
Well, you say know that weakness. I don't know. They don't know themselves at all, and I don't know. Like last night, they're just so overreactionary. You just knew they were going to get AJ involved, and it was just overblown. I mean, they're just forcing it to him and forcing it to him early. It's so predictable in that sense. It just feels like, I was saying with Anthony earlier, it doesn't feel like they look at the Lions and are like, all right, let's change up what we're doing to attack this weakness of the Lions. They just do what they do, and they do it poorly, and they just keep continuing to do it. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, and the guys in the locker room talked a lot about like the self-inflicted wounds, the mistakes that they made. Obviously, there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties in key situations, but just overall, it's kind of it's like the paradox of like having one of the most expensive offense in the NFL, one of the most talented groups, but like. Again, they don't have a tight end that they can throw on the field in a blocking situation, so they keep throwing Grant Calcaterra out there, and that's just not who he is, And like in the passing game, they just haven't figured out what it needs to look like. So I don't really know where you go from here with the offense. I think you'd like to say that they play complementary to the defense. They try to be like a just grind it out run game team, but it's just not who they are this year. So like I said, it is there's a lack of feel to the game, especially you looked at the way the Eagles offense started the game, but even just more broadly, I don't know what they are.
How much of this goes back to the offensive line? I mean, is that the key to everything, just having the banged up offensive line?
I mean, to a certain extent, I definitely think it's why the run game hasn't been as effective. I think that teams are sitting on it and being more aggressive, which is a part of it too. But I mean, they just have a lot of moving pieces in there. Obviously, Lane Johnson went out. Even Cam Jurgens didn't finish the game, so they've got a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. And even Jurgens, like it just seemed almost like they rushed him back, which was a surprise to me. Like it's not like Brett Toth was playing bad, so it wasn't like they needed to get Jurgens back in the lineup as soon as possible. But yeah, to me, I think that's definitely a big part of it. But I think that honestly, the stuff that it ails their run game is deeper than just the offensive line not being quite like it was. I think that there's some schematic stuff there. Teams are sitting on it. Yeah, I mean, you see like those safeties.
Where's Toss Crack? Have you seen Toss Crack? Have you seen it?
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of that. Those like more creative runs. It's a lot of I'm excited to hear Fran talk about the same side zone runs because I know how much those drive him crazy. It's a lot of the same stuff, and it's just not working.
No, it's not. We have a super
Yeah,
chat.
we got a super chat. I can pretty much get your answer to this, Anthony. But hey, Anthony, let's say Jalen Hurts' contract is up. Are you willing to pay Hurts $70 million a year? I don't think he's worth the money that based on this play. He needs a great team to function, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a moot point because his contract's not up. But no, I mean, listen, the quarterback's weaknesses are apparent. They're apparent. I mean, if you're actually watching it and watching him play, he's gonna. That's who he is. Now, with the bad, there is the good that the dude does find ways to win. Like, he does. He's got a winning DNA. That's true. But he frustrates. I'm not a fan of how he plays the position. I mean, I just don't like it. I like him as a guy. I just don't like the way he plays the position because I just don't think he sees it quick enough and lets it go. You want to talk about the coaches that hamstring him or whatever, you want to alibi for him, go ahead. But he doesn't get rid of the ball. And while he'll throw a decent deep ball, a nice deep ball, he doesn't make those 20-yard chunk throws, zip it in. And I like that. Now, what does it matter? As long as you win the game, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's a moot point as of right now. I do think like he has reached the franchise quarterback, level that you sort of pay those guys the going rate and you keep it moving. But I do think it invites some real questions about what the offense looks like if he is taking up a bigger percentage. And honestly, the other thing to keep in mind here is like, Jalen, obviously he had a big deal, but he usually will make those his contracts more team friendly to try and keep the talent around him. And I think that that's important, especially like if you ask me like what this team needs to look like 2 or 3 years from now, it's like heavily invested in defense and like letting Jalen be the focal point as a runner, like to create for an offense that maybe it doesn't have as much talent as this group does, because you're right, the way they play doesn't maximize that talent.
No, it'll be interesting. What would be interesting to see, and you can't do it, but like you want to see what this offense would look like if McKee was running it for one game. I'm just curious because it might give you an answer as to how to fix it with Jalen, right? Like,
yeah,
like if he struggles in the same mode that Jalen's struggling with, like it gives you like an idea of how to fix the issue. Right now they have so many issues on offense that I don't think they know how to fix it. You got a first-time play caller. Sirianni's never been a high IQ offensive guy in the vein of McVay or Shanahan, that kind of guy. I don't think they know how to fix it. Like Vic knows how to fix things on defense. They don't have a fixer on offense.
Yeah, I mean the McKee thing is interesting because like last year when he played against the Giants, you saw a completely different Eagles offense, and it kind of did feel as if like that was Kellen Moore's that was his version of the Eagles offense, kind of agnostic of the quarterback. So I do think it would be interesting to see it again at some point. But I mean, we're talking about, the Eagles are in a good position, so you might see it in like a garbage time game late in the season here. But yeah, I do think.
Yeah, when I say that, I don't mean like you're going to switch quarterbacks. I don't mean it like that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I just think
mean
that
it
the
more
way
like,
the offense
I'm
would
just
look
curious if I could diagnose with somebody else at quarterback. Diagnose the issues with it. Like, what do I got to do? How do I got to fix the scheme? Like, obviously, it needs fixing. Like, what is truly ailing them, and how do I fix it? And I don't think they know.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the way they played without AJ also kind of like leaned into like, is this what the offense should look like without all the stars? But to me, that is where like that's your job if you're Kevin Patullo, is to figure out how to feature your star players. And maybe it's not going to look exactly the way that you wanted it to look if you had guys who were always pushing in the same direction, but you have enough star power where it shouldn't be this hard. I mean, that's the thing that I always go back to with this Eagles offense, is it should not look this difficult with all the talent that they have.
Yeah, they seem to be an organization that always pays attention to what the national heads are saying about them. Anthony's been pounding the drum about having Jalen run more and RPOs. Chris Collinsworth said it repeatedly last night, maybe upwards of like 8 to 10 times. Do you think that's something that people in the building take notice of, and maybe we see Jalen start running this week a little more?
It's interesting. They're definitely rabbit-eared in that organization. So there's always a chance, but I don't know if it's like, the national conversation's pushing around running. I think it's more about just like needing to figure out what this offense looks like. And I think we've always known that there was a chance that as the stakes raised for these games, as that we got toward the end of the season here, that they might start opening it up with the quarterback run game a little bit more. Obviously, we saw the QB draws, but I'm with Anthony. Like, I think the RPO game and the zone read game needs to be a bigger part of what they do. I spent years hearing from Eagles running backs about how much that opened things up for them. And it's like, to just like take it off the table this year and the run game is struggling, I don't think that those two things are a coincidence.
Yeah, and I think Jalen needs to wrap his mind around it and go, dude, we need you. Need you to run. You're not going to be every quarterback wants to be who they're not, right? If you're a pocket guy who's a great thrower, you want to be a runner. You ain't a runner, dude. The minute you try to take off, you're going to get blasted, right? Like, they all want to do what they can't do. And he's not a volume thrower. I've said 1,000 times. He's not a volume thrower who's going to sit in the pocket and pick teams apart. That's not who he is. Needs to run, be involved in the run game, man. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't even know why it's taking this long. Like, I don't even know why. Like that conversation should have happened long ago. Long ago. The minute you struggle with the run game, that should have happened weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that you build the run game with a quarterback inclusive run game. You build the RPO game off of it, play action shots off of that. That was the best version we've seen of Jalen Hurts here. So, I think that there's a chance you see it again, because it's not like Jalen. I mean, obviously, again, he needs to like buy into that, but it's not like, especially if they are entering the postseason here, he's usually going to be prioritizing what it takes to win. So I'm not saying we're not going to see it, but it is strange. I mean, with how much they've struggled, that we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, injuries. Where do we stand with Lane, man? Lane and Cam.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lane's he's had a couple of things pop up the last couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see. In the next couple hours, I'm going to see what I can find out about that one. And then Cam, I don't know. It wasn't. I didn't see what happened with him, but I mean, again, it feels like they just rushed him back. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is something where they need to kind of take a step back with him. But other than that, I don't think there was much. I don't think many guys left the game, but those are two big ones. Saquon said after the game he was fine. Obviously, he went out he said he got his hand stepped on, but obviously was fine to finish the game.
Yeah. Well, all hail to Vic Fangio.
Holding it all together. Yep.
I love that defense. EJ, great stuff, buddy. 2:00 today.
Yep. Yeah. Me, Bo, and Fran going through the film. I'm excited to hear what happened with the offense and how good the Eagles defense is.
Love it. Love it. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks,
there
guys.
He is, EJ Smith. Now, we got the brain. Let's go right to the brain. We got Franny coming up too right after the brain. So we'll talk to Franny coming up in about 10 minutes. But let's go to the brain first. Brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Go over yesterday. Wild weekend. Wild Sunday. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, actually, between college football, which is bananas, all right, and the NFL, we're a crazy weekend. Here he is on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line, the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Top of the morning, brain.
Oh, wait, I get to ask you a question. In the chat, they're not talking about Jalen Hurts MVP? That chatter quiet?
You don't want to know what's going on in the chat.
Why? What's it now?
You talked about edge rushers or Howie. Yeah. Someone said Howie's an edge guy, so there's a lot of edging.
A lot of edge talk.
All right, forget that. All right, we'll move on from that. Brain. First of all, last night. Wild, right? What we do know is this Eagles defense is the best defense in the NFL. It is borderline Raven-esque defense. Comes at you from all different areas, and it stopped two good offenses and makes up for an anemic offense.
Well, I think you're good. I mean, I thought Detroit was a great offense. I won't even say good. And it's funny. It was watching that game. It's interesting, Anthony, because I know, and I love it when we always do. I love our Thursday segments when we have that long show when you're at the casino at Parks. But I know we talked about before. We've mentioned Jared Goff and Sam Darnold as like a litmus test. Okay, how good you have to be to win a Super Bowl or whatnot. And it was just interesting, which arguably the four best teams played yesterday. And not that Jalen Hurts was anything good. I don't want to overstate it, but Sam Darnold, Seattle dominated the Rams. Dominated. I mean, absolutely destroyed them. And they lose the game because the quarterback was so over the top horrific.
Four picks.
Matthew Stafford
by Sam.
Stafford completed, I think, 12 passes for 100 yards. Their defense
is
nasty.
They
controlled the game.
Their secondary is nasty.
Controlled the game 100% and just out of just horrible quarterback play, they lose. And then Detroit, Goff, if you took away, and I know he's your favorite player, and God, are you right? You talk about all the time that the running back Gibbs is your favorite guy. I don't even have words for how good he is, but if you take away the dump passes he threw to him that were 100% him and zero Goff, it was just amazing to me just how inept the Eagles defense made that offense look. Because that's a good offense. That is, I mean, again,
no, it's a great offense. Now, a couple things, right? They're missing Laporta. Laporta's what makes them. No, well, hear me out for 1 second. They're a great offense regardless. But with Laporta, it's like it's the whole picture, right? So now they become
everything.
This like ridiculous, unstoppable force, right? Because you have Williams, St. Brown, Gibbs, and now you have Laporta. It's really hard to stop all those weapons. The real issue, what I thought the Eagles did so well yesterday was arms up. Like we say it all the time. Like I tell my kids that play, because both my kids play edge, right? I'm like, listen, when the quarterback's your side, get your hands up, man. Like your hands, those deflections, there were 5 of them. Jordan Davis had 3.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter had 2, right? Like, and now not only do you get 5 pass deflections, but you're in his head, right? Like, so now he's going to miss guys because he's so afraid of getting the ball smacked, deflected. There was 5 deflections, and then the interception to Cooper was off. I don't know how many total deflections there were. They were in his head. That front and deflecting the ball and hands up, that's won the game for him.
I like about the Eagles defense, Anthony, a lot actually, is look at the future. This isn't like they have like 8 guys who are, at the end of their career, like, Calais Campbell types who've had great careers, but okay, when are you going to retire finally? Or Brandon Graham's obviously back, but besides that, you know what I mean? It's mostly a lot of young players who are really good. And this defense is going to be good for many, many years. I still, Anthony, again, and there's a lot smarter people than me, and that's why I love talking to you. I know you break down the film with Baldy. I know you know everyone in the moon. I'd like to just almost, I'm sure they've had meetings about, the offense to me is so, I don't even know what I'd use, disjointed or just non-effective.
Broken.
And again, they keep getting away with it, which again, at the end of the day, you got to just win and you keep getting away with it game in, game out. Horrible offensive performances. But eventually there's going to be a game, probably where they're going to need the offense not to just score like, 10 points and score and actually score like in the 20s. And I'm just stunned every time I watch this team offensively, how bad it looks. I always say, like you say to your kid, it shouldn't be this difficult, son.
Right.
It shouldn't be this hard. Don't take the hard
way.
way.
Well, here's the thing. Detroit went for it all the time, right? Because that's what they do. But they gave you the ball in ridiculous field position. Like, the field position you had, you should have put up 30 on the gifts that Dan Campbell gave you.
It's funny, like watching, it's just amazing, like Dan Campbell, again, and I know he'll never get criticized, and I understand he's a player's coach and all that, but some of the stuff he was doing last night, man, I would have had a field day with just, from a math perspective, telling you you're ruining your team here. But
you know what, though?
Again, great win.
In the end, he was right to do that because
they couldn't score.
They couldn't pay. They couldn't make him pay for it.
It was And again, Anthony, I always ask this to you every week. By the way, is there going to be a running back controversy with Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby? Joking. But one guy's averaging 8 yards a carry, the other guy's averaging 2. Just joking, though. But it's amazing to me that this offense with the names, individual names, can be this inept. I just every time I watch it, I'm like, okay, it has to change. It has to change.
I know. I don't think they can fix it. I mean, Sirianni has to be able to diagnose it. That's his biggest flaw as a coach. I think he's a button-up coach. He's a player's coach. Everybody likes him, right? He's got a lot of good qualities. But what he lacks is the ability to diagnose from an X and O standpoint. And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Because there's nobody that can fix it. Yeah. And then you got him.
Because that's a great point.
Not punting the ball, which was just the height of stupidity.
I don't want to, I'm going to get upset over that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you see some of these things and you scratch up. But listen, they keep getting away with it because the defense has been that good. And I give them credit for that. And you say to yourself, okay, Anthony, like, what in the NFC, or for that matter, the NFL, who scares you? Who's that? You know what it is? They're a version of Denver, I guess. Maybe right now they're a version of Denver, and Denver keeps doing it the same way. Bo Nix has been horrible, and they just win.
Honestly, nobody scares me at all in the.
That's my point.
In the NFC, nobody does because they're Denver, but the Eagles are different because they've won, right? Like they've already won, so they know that they've won the ball. They've won the Super Bowl. So, honestly, nobody scares me. I think the Rams are really good, and that could be a matchup problem, right? Like they were lucky to beat the Rams. And I don't know about Seattle, but the quarterback, I think this Eagles defense will make that quarterback pee his pants.
I can't say a word.
Chance.
Right? Like
I can't say a word.
He will go wee-wee against that Eagles defense. There's no way. So I look at it like, and all roads, they're going to get the 1 seed. So all roads are going to go through Philadelphia.
Right. They probably will get the number 1 seed. You're right. There really is a very good chance because I really still actually feel confident that Seattle will beat the Rams in a rematch, which will give them 3 losses, and Eagles have only 2. Even then, I'm unable to lose at least 1 more and still get there. And I'm sure the Rams will lose at least 1 more. So yeah, all roads will probably lead Philly. But again, as I keep saying, there's just going to be that game where they need again, and maybe he'll channel his inner Jack Morris and just get it done. And if we allow 21, I'll find a way to score 22. I'll just find a way to do it. It may be ugly. You may say to yourself, how am I even getting it done? But it's going to get done. And you're like, sometimes my wife asks me to take out the trash. I'm like, I'll do it later. She's like, no, I'll do it. I'm like, I don't get done. Don't worry. It'll get done. Whether I do it now or 2 minutes before they come to collect it, it'll get done. The same thing here. Maybe it'll just get done and they'll be able to just do enough to win. But yeah, in terms of style points, man. And I never would have thought with this many great players, Anthony, an offense could look like that. I never.
It's awful.
Crazy.
I'd love to talk to these coaches.
No.
Here's a great little thing. If the Cowboys lose either tonight or on Thanksgiving to Kansas City, and the Eagles win their next 2, the Eagles will clinch the NFC East by Black Friday. It's a possibility.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's incredible.
Really.
Speaking of which, who do you like tonight? You got any plays tonight?
Yeah, well, it's funny, Anthony. I do like, again, I'm all in on who's our favorite Raider, Anthony. Brock Bowers, a lot of bets on his overs, 73.5 yards and over 6.5 catches against his Dallas defense. I really, 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 really like Brock Bowers. I think he's going to have a huge game. Lean Raiders getting the 3.5, but Bowers, it's going to be Bowers for me because I actually think this is a good spot for him against a very inept defense to have a really good game. And the number to me is quite reasonable. So
I know you got Quinn Williams. That's going to help your line, but I don't know how it's going to help your back 7.
Yeah. I mean, look, Dallas again. I mean, they traded away, their best player, and they're kind of paying the price for that. Now they're trying to fix it, by making trades to get rid of a guy that was already there. They had the best guy in the league, and they decided to get rid of, second best guy for Myles Garrett, but they got rid of him, and now they're going to pay the price for that probably for the next 10 years, in my opinion. But look, we'll see. Again, as you said, Anthony, all roads probably should lead to Philly. Look, a win is a win, as I always say, and then you don't need the style points, but I just wish they just a little bit of hope. I just wish I saw a little bit of hope out of the offense. I wish I saw a game where they won like 24-21 yesterday as opposed to 16.
No,
At least
dude,
the offense was
I get
something,
it's maddening. I
you
I
know?
just try to look at it from a defensive standpoint because how much I love defense and
Yeah.
Fangio, and I love those kids. I think they're just.
He's great.
I
Yeah.
love that unit, man. It's a great defense. Anything in the association? Harden is back tonight.
Yeah, I saw that. Six, I think, are laying 4.5. Okay, Clippers are playing just atrocious. I got to tell you something. I felt really bad. Kelly Oubre, is he out for the season, Anthony?
I haven't got
do
an
you know?
I
update
haven't
on
seen
him.
it.
I haven't got an Oubre update.
I haven't seen his update.
Because I think it was a serious knee injury, I believe.
I haven't
and
seen.
that would
I
be
haven't seen the update.
Oh, I thought he read something he had like something like his LCL.
He's got an
or something.
LCL.
I know, but
got
I
him.
didn't think
Seen
it was
the duration
season.
yet.
I didn't think it was season ending.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a bad thing.
Well,
Okay,
hold on. Let me
All
ask.
right, well,
Let me ask.
maybe I'm dead wrong.
Kyle, I
I
don't.
thought it
I
was at least
don't
out for
know.
a few months or
I mean,
something.
last
but
night
I
Kyle
could be
was saying
wrong.
severity still unknown.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, listen. I thought it was going to be, he'll be out until the end of until like January. That's how I took it. But
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, 2 months. Okay. Well,
There's
that was
nothing
still, okay.
confirmed.
But
But
that's a
that's
shame
fine.
because he's been
But
playing well for them.
that was just me going, whatever. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't hear season ending.
No, okay. And what about any have you heard anything on Embiid in terms of like where we're at with him? Like,
No,
I guess it's just
you're not going to hear that.
You're not going to hear that. But yeah, I mean, look, Clippers are playing atrocious. Only way I can lean right now is Philadelphia lane. Actually, it's up to 5.5 right now. But to me, it would be Philly or pass back to back for the Clippers. And the Clippers have just been, they lost Beal for the year. Not that he was playing any well. It's just Kawhi's out. This team, I think they're 4-10. They've been absolutely god awful. This should be a win for the Sixers tonight. It really should.
Yeah, I could see Maxey putting up 40 tonight. They
It
play
would not
no
surprise me.
defense up top, the Clippers. Yeah, and James ain't going to
Would
play
not
defense.
surprise me. Yeah, would not surprise me at all. So hopefully we'll get a Sixers win night. I think we will. And again, thankfully, look, Eagles again. They play what they played. They play Dallas next week. Is it? I think they're a 4.5-point favorite. Again, I see.
Listen, if
Oh,
their
you know what's
offense
interesting?
doesn't get right
was just about
against
to say
that
this.
putrid defense, then
About to
we
say
got to
that,
sound the
yeah.
alarms.
Yeah, then they're cooked.
All right.
Yeah.
If their offense
Yeah.
can't put up upper 20s, all right, is that fair?
Yes.
It's very fair.
27.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I got to get 27 out of that. They have to score 27. If they can't score 27, then on Monday, I'm sounding the alarms. Even if they win and are sitting at what? Whatever.
9-2.
9-2.
9-2. I think
Crazy.
that's fair. I think that's fair.
Good stuff, Brain. We'll talk to
Appreciate
you
you,
tomorrow.
buddy.
We'll go through. I want to talk to you about college. Lots to talk about. So we'll
A lot to
discuss
talk about.
tomorrow.
Appreciate you. Be good.
All right, buddy. There he is.
Bye.
Brain. Take care of some business. And then let's go to Franny Films. I want to see if Franny Films can diagnose the issue.
Well, I think it's a plural. I think he can diagnose the issues.
Issues, yeah.
It is a plural.
I think
correct.
he's going to agree with EJ and say they do nothing well on offense.
Well, I mean, that's been my kind of how I say it for a long time. All right, let's take care of some business. VG.
All right, let's talk about Ace Hardware Home Services because, if you're like me, you stink handling anything around the house that takes any kind of maintenance or anything. So if you got an outlet you said you fixed last summer or a faucet that keeps dripping, Ace Hardware Home Services, they got people for that because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. They do it all from plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, trusted pros to keep your house humming all year long. They're bringing the helpful you love from the store now to your front door from Philly all the way down to the Jersey Shore. And they bring experience. Ace Hardware Home Services do. They're local plumbers, techs, handle everything from repairs, seasonal maintenance, installations, upgrades. They listen to your goals and the job's never done until you're completely satisfied. They'll give you some free estimates on equipment installations and replacement with trusted advisors, and they give you options best for your home and, more importantly, best for your budget. Their team's also local. They live amongst us, and all they want, and they're dedicated to keeping their neighbors comfortable in their own homes. So if you got something that needs a fixing, visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com and get started on that next home repair project.
All right, there you go. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app gives you the brain over Brock. All right, over Brock. The Cowboys 3.5 over the Raiders. Also, your 10-9-8 in action tonight against the Clippers and Harden. They're what, 4.5? He said 4.5?
Yes.
It was 5.5. I guess I'm looking at the copy.
I'm looking at Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles are 4.5. Good work by you on that.
Yeah.
5.5.
There you go, baby.
And also, I'm going to be in house tonight. Big 5 battle tonight. Take those Penn Quakers +5 against the Joe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You like the Quakers tonight?
I like them +5 tonight.
All right. I like it,
And they
man.
keep it close.
What do you think of what's Maxie's? He's going to go for 40 tonight. I can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think tonight's is a Maxie Edgecombe bonanza tonight.
So I guess the line, because right now they just have it by clumps. Like if Maxie over 30s -136, Maxie over 35 pays you +165.
All right.
Let's see.
He can get there. So he's over.
His over is like 30.5. It's 30.5.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. There's always another way to win on the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back, plus 250 free spins on the new slot game, Tree Wishes.
Man, I'm in on free spins.
Tree Wishes.
Let's do tree.
Right? Christmas Tree Wishes. A BetParks exclusive game. Got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan. BetParks.com has the details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Joining us now on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. Let's go deep into the study. Franny Films.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all 22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
There he is. All right. Let's put the defense aside because we're going to glow over the defense. And I mean, we all know why they are 9. They're 9-2 right now, or 8-2 right now. We know that's what and I could spend all day long talking about it. I love it. Can you diagnose what ails the offense?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's the issues that we've talked about throughout the course of the season, where they are unable to sustain offense running the football. This is not a successful running team right now. They're not an effective running team right now. Even on the broadcast last night, Chris Collinsworth is saying like, "Oh, they got to get back to running. This is a running team." Not this year. 2025 Philadelphia Eagles are not a good running football team. They've had moments, but when they haven't played the New York Giants, they have not been able to consistently run the football here this year. And so when you have that issue, all right, take one hand, tie it behind your back. Now you're relying on the pass game, and the pass game continues to be volatile for the reasons that we have discussed in the past, right? I mean, whether it's the play of the quarterback, whether it's guys not being able to get open, some of the schematic disadvantages. They are trying to work through things from a schematic standpoint. They're trying some new things here and there, and so it's like, all right, they're pushing this button, they're pushing that button, but they are unable to sustain success because they're not able to run the football with consistency, and then the volatility of the pass game leads it to being a very uneven performance week after week.
So, since the beginning of the season, when the issues have arisen, I've been screaming, Jalen's got to be involved in the run game. Has to be involved in the run game because that's the only bullet you really have. All right? That's it. The only bullet. And yet, it still doesn't happen with consistency.
Yeah, and that's the thing and that's why I feel like they have finally buckled in terms of like using more under center play action, because it's like, all right, well, if we're not going to threaten the defense and threaten those linebackers with the threat of quarterback run, we're not running the zone reads, we're not doing those kinds of the QB counter reads and all the misdirection from that end of it. We've got to do something. We can't just line up and win. especially with the offensive line being banged up the way that they've been throughout the majority of this season. And so getting Jalen under center and trying to do more from the play action boot game, like that to me is the reason why they have leaned into that, because they got to find something to be able to affect that second level. And until they're able to do that with consistency, I think that the run game is going to continue to struggle. They're working in different run schemes. They're working in the gap stuff. They haven't done that as much this year, or especially in the beginning half, the first half of the year. You didn't see as much of the counter. You didn't see as much of the traps and the whamps. They're starting to work more of those in. Now, I haven't watched one down from the film from last night yet on the offensive side. I'm just about done wrapping the defense. We'll talk about that. But I think when you're looking at this offensive football team right now, very much still trying to find their identity from a pass game standpoint. I think they know what they want to be in the run game. I think they're just unable to do it, for a number of reasons. Again, like guys banged up. Cam Jurgens.
I mean, let's be frank. Let's be frank. If teams go play press man, you know what? Eagles can have success against that because they can win, and so some of those in cuts and those slants will work. But the minute you're flooding the zone against them, they got no answers because the quarterback just won't throw the freaking ball. He, again, hold. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have, I hated the game plan last night. You got the Lions who are just decimated in the back end, right? And you're not attacking it. You're not attacking it. And it tells me they are afraid to attack it because they don't want Jalen making those throws. And otherwise, if you're playing with that, you want to talk about putting one hand behind your back. Now you got both hands behind your back, and you might as well put handcuffs on. That's
how I said it in the postgame show. I was like, if you can't run the ball and then you don't trust your quarterback to throw the ball, and then when he does throw the ball, you have the inconsistencies. You're going to get offensive performances like this. I think if you're an Eagles fan and you're watching this over the last few weeks, this 2-week stretch you're hoping that's rock bottom, right? And it has been. I think when you look at the Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts tandem, everybody is very quick to throw Kevin Patullo out. This has been an issue. This 2-week stretch is as bad as it's looked over this 5-year stretch. This has been rock bottom. But you're hoping all right, you regress back to the mean a little bit. You get back to being average, and now all of a sudden, all right, you were talking about with the brain a few minutes ago. You go up against Dallas, you should be scoring 28 points against the Cowboys. It shouldn't be 10, 13 points here against that defense. And against most defenses you face here through the rest of the regular season, you've got Washington twice, you got the Raiders, you got the Cowboys, you've got a couple of these defenses. You should be able to kind of get right here a little bit and try and see if you can find that identity in the pass game going into the playoffs.
Yes. The biggest flaw with Sirianni is that you got a guy who comes from the offensive side of the ball who cannot diagnose and fix offense. He's just not an X and O guy. I've been screaming about this for, like you said, 5 years. There's a reason why this offense has been spotty for 5 years. Hell, they didn't even know what they had last year until week 6. Let's give the ball to Saquon. I mean, you got to understand. You got to know who you are. You got to see what your flaws are. This idea that Patullo talked, which really just irritates me, is when he talks about, well, they didn't show this on film. Dude, if you know your own weakness, you know what they're going to send. They're going to do to you. You should know how they're going to deploy their defensive scheme by knowing your own weakness.
I think the big thing, when you're looking at, and this is like a deep-seated philosophical thing, when you're looking at offensive football, is do you want to be dictating to the defense, or are you letting the defense dictate to you in terms of the way that they want to line up, the way that what buttons they're going to push, and depending on what defensive coordinator you're going to go up against, some of those guys, they're going to dictate to you better than others, right? You go up against Brian Flores, he's going to do what he's going to do. But if you go up against Vic Fangio, they're going to change things up. And you saw that last night. It's like a kaleidoscope, right? One series you're getting this, then the next series you're doing that. Or sometimes you're rolling coverage to Quignon, sometimes you're rolling it away. You're going to get a heavy blitz one week, and then you might blitz 3 times like they did last night. I think when you look at the way that the Eagles' offense is right now, it's a little bit more reactive than proactive. At the end of the day, like they have to find what is the bread and butter. And one of the problems with it right now, because you're having such poor levels of success, you're unable to sustain drives. Again, throughout the course of this season, this has been the worst 3-and-out team in all of football. They have more 3-and-outs than anybody. And when you have a lot of 3-and-outs, especially over stretches of games, as a play caller, as an offensive staff, you're kind of just grabbing at straws. You're trying to say all right, what can we get that works? You're unable to get into a rhythm, and that's why you often see with this team, with this offense, is they get that first down, and then they start rolling because it's all right, now we're off and running. But when they get stifled so quickly, they don't get into any kind of rhythm, and then they're like, all right, this is going to be a run game drive. All right, this is going to be a pass game drive. All right, let's get into the quick game. All right, let's get into under center play action. All right, let's try a screen. All right, maybe we'll try an RPO here. And there's just that lack of rhythm has been apparent throughout the course of this season.
I mean, look at last night. I mean, the field position that they had, because the defense stopped them on every fourth down.
No.
They had their field. They should have scored 30 by accident. You score 30 with that kind of field position.
And that has been something that the staff has pointed to throughout early on in the year. Remember early in the year with all the issues with kick returns? And it was like, the starting field position, we were backed up, we're in our own end. And that's going to dictate play calling. I don't know. I think that's a little bit overweighted, but that was not the issue last night. That was not the issue in that game because you started in plus territory. You started at midfield. They had numerous opportunities to be able to take advantage of some of the issues that Vic Fangio was able to create for that offense.
I mean, with a secondary decimated by injuries, Jalen Hurts threw for 135 yards. That's Justin Fields territory.
Yeah, I mean, look, neither quarterback looked very good last night, and I think that when you look at it, you're like, all right, maybe you give them a little bit of grace, but there were a number of turndowns where it's like, and again, this is without me looking at the film, but just watching some of the replays they showed last night. I mean, these numbers. Thank you, Andrew, for posting this. Jared Goff's played some bad football in his career. You go back to some of those early days with the Rams, there was some early stuff with the Lions very early on when he first got there. That was his worst game of his career from a lot of statistical metrics last night. You look at completion percentage above expectation.
Wow, 14 for 37.
The targets down the field. I was looking at some of the next gen numbers last night, and it's like I think it was under 30% on throws beyond the line of scrimmage. It's just they completely put him in a blender last night. And some of it was coverage, some of it was rush. They were kind of taking turns that way. It was a masterful performance. So neither quarterback looked good in the conditions on Sunday night, but I think when you're looking at it was not a good Jalen Hurts performance. Very easy to be able to say. I don't need to watch all the film to be able to point to that.
But you know what? Let's go to the Eagles defense for a second, because what they did with Goff, the amount of deflections and balls batted was unbelievable. So Jordan Davis was ridiculous, right? With swat. He gets 3, Carter gets 2. And there were numerous other deflections. Coop gets an interception off a deflection. I counted another 4 deflections beyond the balls that were just swatted down. The idea of that kind of penetration, that kind of that impacted Goff. You could see it because on the throws he missed, it was in his head that he was getting the ball batted down.
I talked about this on Thursday when we previewed the Lions and just kind of looking ahead to this matchup. Jared Goff's numbers when pressured just completely go in the tank, and that continued last night. You saw him kind of he would get kind of not shell shocked, but he wouldn't step into throws. He was definitely feeling it from the early on. They were able to deliver some hits early on in that game. But the other big thing is that when he is at his best, it's 1, 2, 3, ball out. Top of the drop, ball out. And so if you are a defensive lineman, you can't always expect that you're going to be able to get home for sacks. You're going to be able to get home to deliver those hits. And so I'm sure, it was very apparent. This was a coaching point. This was a talking point going into this game from that Eagles defensive staff. You got to clog up those pass lanes. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. If you're not able to get home, you got to expect that ball's going to be out quickly. We got to make sure that we're trying to knock those down. And obviously it led to the 1 turnover, like you mentioned, on the opening drive. Cooper DeJean coming down with that interception. But, Jordan, I was going back and forth with Derek Bodner. I'm trying to track down, Jordan Davis had 3 blocks on 29 snaps. Like, where would that rank on a that's like Wemby status in terms of how many blocks per possession? We're trying to see where that.
Funny,
ranks in the NBA.
I said that last night to Pat McClune. I said Jordan Davis was like Wemby last night. Same thing. But you know what was the most impressive thing that they did, and ultimately the reason why the pass game struggled? They stopped the run.
Yep.
Like, they shut down. Like, listen, I love Gibbs. They shut him down as a runner, right? He only ran for 39. Montgomery did no damage. And what happens is now play action. That's a team that lives off of play action.
Yep.
The couple big plays they had were because of play action. And the fact that I thought the Eagles stopped the run so well last night, that was understated.
No, I completely agree. And you saw the physicality from that group, really shined. And it started early on in the game. Detroit comes out and it was like, all right, let's see if we can get Jared Goff into a rhythm. I talked about you had a couple batted passes, you had the interception, and then they came out and they were like, all right, we're going to try and assert ourselves with the running game. And they called that, I think it was 5 runs in a row. All of them unsuccessful. They was just run stop, and all those guys were taking turns. Jalen Carter was phenomenal last night. I thought it was one of his best games of this season. Jordan Davis was phenomenal. Jamora Ojimo was great. Nolan Smith made his presence felt. He had a couple of nice plays. Oof. The Nakobe Dean thing.
How about BG? BG made a nice play too. He made a nice play. No, but you're right. Nakobe, wow. I'm a Phillips. I love Phillips. But, like, Nakobe was out of his mind. I mean, they were Q. They were just all. I mean, Dory Jackson makes 2 plays.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. There was that 3rd and 10. He gets that PBU against Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that's what I was saying earlier about, like, just kind of keeping the other coach, keeping the other team on their toes. You don't know what to expect. I would say, like, if you look back to last year when you had Big Play Slay and Quinyon Mitchell as a rookie, they on 3rd down, they would roll coverage and say, like, all right, we're going to roll safety over this way, roll safety over that way. It's a cover 6, or you're going to have a safety over the top on one side of the field. They would kind of split 50-50 in game. It was like, all right, sometimes it's going to go over to Slay's side, sometimes it's going to go over to Q's side. This year, it has been heavily weighted, obviously, because you got Quinyon Mitchell. We're going to rotate coverage over to Adoree Jackson's side or Keely Ringo's side, whoever that outside corner is, and we're going to leave Quinyon one-on-one. Every once in a while, they'll change it up. And all right, we're going to rotate over to Quinyon's side, just give him a little safety help, and he can be aggressive, and we just need Adoree, Ringo, whoever it is, hold up on this one. You're going to be one-on-one on an island. On that play, 3rd and 10, like, you might not expect that was going to be the case in that scenario. So they're running a route that, in theory, should be good against cover 2. You're playing a corner underneath with a safety over top, but he's ISO'd one-on-one, and Adoree makes a great play. And it's like those kinds of things where it's like, yeah, maybe it's a little risky. It's 3rd and 10. It's late in the game. It's a one-possession game. We're going to put Adoree on an island, and he comes up and he makes a big play. But to me, like, that's a great example of not just, like, the coaching and understanding the game plan, getting into a rhythm, but then also having trust in your guys and the players paying that forward.
All right, you go. Then I want to go around the league with Franny.
Okay, I want to get back to Patullo for a second, because they saw a lot of man yesterday, and when we've been seeing a lot of zone defense. Do you see a difference with the routes they're running? Are they running the same scheme and route regardless if it's man or zone?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I haven't watched the film from last night yet, so it's tough for me to, like, I don't have everything completely charted the way I normally would, but you're going to go into every single game with an idea, like, all right, like, the probabilities on this down and distance, what kind of coverage are we going to get based off of what Detroit has done in weeks past. And they have been one of the highest volume man-to-man teams in the league. Now, it's still more zone than man. It's not like they play man every single down, but you're going to go in with an understanding, like, all right, like, if it's 2nd and 10 or if it's 3rd and 8, like, we're probably getting man-to-man here. Here are the routes that we're going to use to beat man. If it is going to be zone, then you work this side of the field, those kinds of things. It's a little bit different every single drop back, but you should have a plan. If you're the quarterback, if you're the play caller, any given play. All right, hey, if we're getting this look, this is where we're looking. If we're getting this look defensively, then you're going to start your progression here, and you're going to kind of go from there.
All right, let's go around the league. All right, let's look at that. So Darnold, once again in the big game, melts down. 4 interceptions, which Seattle's defense dominated that game. Like, they played so well. They shut that Rams team down, and it was Darnold who we saw him against Detroit, and then the week after against the Rams have a meltdown. Well, he did it again.
Yeah, I mean, this is an offense that is going to be built on positive game script. When you're looking at Seattle, the way they want to play, they want to be able. And what's interesting about it, though, is that we mentioned talking about Detroit, and it's like, all right, well, if they get that run game going, now the play action follows. Seattle's a great play action team, but their run game has been very inconsistent this year. And so if you are unable to get that run game going, when you get into the later months, I think that's going to really hurt them down the stretch, because Darnold is not that guy where it's like, oh yeah, we want him just going straight drop back. He's a flawed quarterback in that way, which is fine. They clearly have been extremely productive here this year while being able to do that, while being able to live that way. But when they get into the playoffs, you're going to go up against some good defense. And that Rams defense, we talked about it, back in week 3 when the Eagles faced off against them. That's a defense that is going to be built on trying to stop the run on early downs. The moment it is second down and more than 5, they're going to get the dogs on you. They are going to blitz. They are going to stunt. They're going to they're going to play man. They're going to play zone. They're going to play hyper aggressive, and they are going to try and force you into mistakes. And Darnold has proven that in the past he is a mistake prone quarterback when you put the ball in his hands in those kind of high leverage situations.
I got to tell you, the standings, they might as well be in hieroglyphics. They make no sense, right? Like you look at it, all right, the East makes sense. Eagles are 8-2, right? Everybody else stinks. The North, that Bears team,
Crazy.
7-3, they're not good. They're just not a good team. And they're 7-3. Right now, the Lions would be at the season of today, they're out of the playoffs.
That's crazy, right? They're looking in.
It's unbelievable. Now, Jacobs gets hurt for Green Bay yesterday. Love is in and out of the game. They eke one out against the Giants. How do you make sense of that division?
Yeah, I mean, this is a group that is going to continue to kind of pick each other off too, because there's still a number of those NFC North battles coming up. But I think when you're looking at Chicago, look, they are maximizing everything that they can get out of this offense right now. Caleb is starting to get a little bit more comfortable. We know that how dynamic he can be with his arm and with his legs. The run game is a little sporadic. I think that ideally they're able to get another guy in there that can be that workhorse and an every down back. But they found roles for DeAndre Swift and for the rookie Manon guy, and it's like, all right, we're going to try and see if we can make do with the run game, have it be good enough, replacement level enough, where now we can. It's like what I was saying with Seattle. You get the play action game going, you get some misdirection going, get the screen game going. That's been excellent for them. They've got dynamic playmakers on the outside. The defense is not as good as I was expecting. Now they've got some guys on injured reserve.
They're a -6 point differential.
Yep.
They're 7-3. It's almost impossible to do. You're 7-3. They're a -6 in point differential.
And honestly, they've had games go the other way. Like they've got 3 losses. They've got 2 of them easily could have been wins. So this is a team that could be, and again, some of them went the other way too. But this is a team that very easily, they could be where New England is right now as well.
Yeah, I look at them and I go, I don't say it. The Packers got to see what happens to Jacobs, because that would be a huge loss.
Yep.
The South, Tampa's legit, but they run into Josh and Superman yesterday. And how is Carolina? I don't know how. Not for nothing. Like, I get Penix got hurt and Cousins is squashed, but that team beat you 30-0. You have Bijan Robinson and Drake London. There's no way in the world, and a good defense. There's no way in the world you should lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, they've been all over the map this year. And you mentioned, the issues. Look, they've got a second-year quarterback in Penix, so he's been up and down. He's had some issues. You've got a second-year play caller in Zach Robinson. They've sometimes it seems like they're pushing all the right buttons. A lot of times it feels like it might be blindfolded when they're pushing those buttons. So it has not been all sunshine and rainbows for that team. They haven't been able to run the ball with authority. A lot of people have wondered, all right, the run-pass ratio, are they really leaning into Bijan the way that they should be? And then defensively, they can't stop the run. So teams have been able to run the ball all over them. They've got some young rushers, but at the end of the day, not able to get stops when they need them.
Now in the AFC, if the season ended today, the Chiefs would be out of the playoffs. Now, when you look at their schedule, they could easily reel off 7 in a row. Their schedule's that easy.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a tweet from our friend Jeff Schwartz. He said, all right, here are the division winners in the AFC right now, and it's New England, it's Pittsburgh, it's the Colts, and then the Broncos. And it's like, yeah, like just how everybody drew it up back in the summer. That conference has been a wild grab bag right now. Now there's a lot of football left to play. You mentioned you look at Kansas City, and then you look at Baltimore's schedule. Both of those teams' schedules here down the stretch. Both of them are prone to make some noise here. So I would expect both those teams to claw back into the playoff picture.
Yeah, and the Chargers with no Joe Alt, I don't know how they survive that. They have no running back. They have no offensive line.
Yep.
How do you? I mean, I don't know how you win. And you're 7-4.
They're putting it all on Herbert, and Herbert's mostly playing good ball. So yeah. I think at the end of the day, like they're going to hope that that's enough for them. I don't know that they're going to ultimately have the horses. I do think they probably end up in the playoffs, but I don't anticipate them going on much of a stretch run unless that defense is able to go on some kind of heater. And Jesse Minter is the defensive coordinator there. They're doing a good job, but again, I don't know that they quite have the horsepower there from a personnel standpoint.
Josh Allen yesterday was just ridiculous.
Out of his mind.
Like, he's got all his receivers are hurt, right? Dalton Kincaid's out. He's got freaking Chuck Knox at tight end, all right? I mean, what he did yesterday, I have a good buddy of mine who, and I love him, and I'm not going to say who it is, says to me, Allen's over. I take Jalen over Allen. I was like, what? Are you out of your mind? Like, and you look at yesterday and you just go, that's a quarterback. All right. Like, what he did yesterday was superhuman.
League MVP type of stuff. The guy did win an MVP 11 months ago. So I think when you're looking at that team, can't count them out just because at any point he's going to put that offense on their shoulders. Now, we've seen that they can fall short. The last couple of weeks have not looked great, and so then they bounce back. So that's going to be an interesting team to follow, certainly, especially if they're able to get some of these guys back from a health standpoint, an injury standpoint, especially on defense.
Well, that's the thing. Their defense has been really leaky because of all the injuries. Yeah. That's where the issues are. The issues are on defense. Like yesterday, it was just Allen on offense, and they needed every bit of it because Tampa puts up 32. I mean, it's the whole thing's wild. It's the whole, and in college, dude, Oklahoma goes into Alabama and beats them, right? Like now, all of a sudden, Alabama's out. I think.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see Alabama down the stretch. They've got a couple opportunities here, but nothing. Obviously, that would have been the big win for them if they were able to beat Oklahoma. It's been an awesome, entertaining season. But it's funny listening to a lot of the college analysts, a lot of the college reporters, just talking about it. So many of them are unable. We're used to that in the NFL, right? We're used to, every once in a while, like a team, steps on the rake, right? The Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Cleveland Browns. Like those things happen in the NFL. In college, when that happens, teams are like, a lot of people instantly go, that's not a national championship team. We just watched literally a year ago, Ohio State lose the rivalry game to Michigan. They want to fire Ryan Day. They win the whole damn thing, right? So I think it's going to be really fun to be able to watch this play out. This season has been incredibly unpredictable, really, really entertaining. When you look at Oklahoma, that defense, they've got guys at all three levels. It's a good group
that's
overall.
a man's defense. Yeah, I love their defense. You ask me right now, the two teams I like the most is obviously Ohio State, right? And Indiana, but I like Irish. I like Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. I just think having that back, I love the way Carr's playing. I think Notre Dame's got a real chance.
Yeah, that defense has started to come alive over the last few weeks. They had a lot of turnover, and you lose the defensive coordinator. Al Golden goes up to the NFL, so they had a lot of turnover on that side of the football. And obviously, you're working in the freshman quarterback, so it was a little bit of a slow burn. And you look, the two best teams on their schedule, they lose to Miami in week 1, they lose to A&M at home in what was it, week 3, week 4. But since that point, I mean, they've been nails. And you're looking at that group, the way that they dominated a Pittsburgh team that a lot of people thought would be able to give them fits because of what they do stopping the run. They were able to come through and have a huge win, a decisive win on the road against Pitt this week.
Yeah. Stop. It's the Pitt Panthers. I mean, come on. I mean, you're talking about.
Dude, you like Pitt.
That's just a tweak. I mean, the Panthers stink. They lose by 15 to Georgia to the Bulldogs.
You were chesty on Friday.
Pitt. Come on.
Now they stink.
Now, Mr. Georgia.
Yeah, you see them.
Yeah, get your wrinkled hat
Steamrolling.
Georgia might be the best team in the SEC.
Thank you. Thank you, Franny.
It might be.
Thank you for what? What's he saying?
He's saying they're the best team in the SEC?
It's not your father's SEC, I'll tell you that much. It's not Saban's SEC when you had Alabama and LSU. And
it's a nice national championship coming for Kirby and the Bulldogs.
Not this year, Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Not with that defense. That defense is not championship worthy in my eyes.
That's only because when you look around, that's kind of what I mean. Is like a lot of these teams are flawed. Yeah, and it's going to be fascinating to watch this play out. And I do think it's probably the new normal in today's college football. I don't know that we're going to see the dominant like Saban level defenses and the early Kirby Smart defenses at Georgia. I don't know that we're going to see those in today's level of college football.
I think you're right, Franny. Awesome stuff. 2:00 today. You boys get together, and it's a can't miss today. You and EJ and Bo all star today. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, guys.
Franny Films on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Let's take care of some business, and then we got a Murphy Monday. Oh, I wonder what David Murphy's going to say today. Love our Murphy Mondays. The defense is great. Let's hoist a crooked T.
Yeah, let's do it.
For that defense, shall we?
Everybody's got their favorite hard tea, but have you ever turned the can around to try and read what's inside it? You can't because they don't tell you. They don't list it. And while they hide what's inside, Crooked Tea, they brag about it because Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with zero sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So next time you're at the store, try it. Flip the can around. If you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. And then grab a Crooked Tea. Zero sugar, real tea, fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real. So why drink the fake stuff? Why? Crooked Tea. The only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you.
I love it. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino. Gang, give the gift of entertainment this holiday season. Tickets to see national headliners at the Excite Center inside Parks Casino. Parks Casino has something for everyone. Here's the lineup. Saturday, January 7th, Classic Rockers Grand Funk Railroad.
Can't you see? Oh, can't you see what that woman she been doing to me?
That was awesome. Friday, January 30th, 16-time Grammy winner David Foster and Catherine McPhee.
Yeah, I mean, you will know the songs. It's not my wheelhouse, but he's got a ton of pop hits.
Saturday, January 31st, the Marshall Tucker Band and Jefferson Starship.
Ooh. Jane, you're playing a game. You're playing a game. You're playing a game. That's a Starship.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't hear it that note, dude.
Yeah.
Saturday, February 7th, Piano Men, Generations, a tribute to Elton John and Billy Joel.
Sing us the song, you piano man. Sing us a song tonight.
Eileen. Benny and the Jets.
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny and the Jets.
There you go.
Oh, you're such a ham. I love it. I love it. Saturday, March 14th, Tracy Morgan. Saturday, April 4th, comedian Kathleen Madigan, The Day Drinking Tour. Saturday, April 18th, Melissa Etheridge.
Come through my window.
Plus, tickets still available right now for the acapella sounds of Straight No Chaser on December 5th, holidays.
It's a merry, merry Christmas.
He's gonna make his own.
He's
about to make his own Christmas carol.
My brain is not in Christmas mode right now, so I gotta get back.
Come on,
it's a holly jolly spirit.
Jolly spirit? What the hell's that?
I'm mixing up songs.
ParksCasino.com/entertainment to buy tickets. Got to be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I love it. I love the ham bones. I love when they add new acts and then you two hams. You start the
ham bones.
You are two ham bones. I love it. You guys are awesome. All right, now time for a Murphy Monday. I love our next guest, the esteemed columnist for the Inquirer, David Murphy. What? Where's the Murph video? All right, we could skip it for now. Murphy. How's it go? Murphy.
It's time for your man, David Murphy.
There you go. On the Xfinity mobile call line, here he is. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? I'm tired right now, so.
I know, buddy.
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah. You ever had
Late
those
night
moments?
games.
I know, it's like where you can like almost like hear the words coming out of your mouth. There's like a disconnect between your brain and your mouth.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you waking up for us. I won't keep you too long.
It's all good. It's
Got a solid military sweater on today.
I got a 7-month-old. I'm used to it. But
Yeah.
I didn't get back until 4 a.m. last night.
You got home at 4?
Yeah, I mean the game didn't end until these games don't end until 12:30. Then you're in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
You're in the locker room and then it was just keep in mind I'm ready for sleep by kickoff. So
Yeah.
I just get progressively less able to function and then the words don't come out right all the time. So
No, trust me, I know it. I know that whole vibe. But let's get to it. It's really a story of two teams, right? Like it's an incredible story because the defense is exhilarating. The defense it's probably the best. It's probably better than last year. Now that you add Phillips, Dean is back, right? Like they're so good. They're deep. It could be the best defense of the century, right? Like you're going to go back to the Ravens of 1999 into 2000, and then there's the offense.
I think they have. I think they certainly have that potential. Obviously everyone's talked about what Quinyon did last night. But man, watching that game, I was really interested to watch Cooper DeJean. And I really think if you watch the film, and you watch just kind of the wide angle in person, it's he really makes so much of that defense go. He's almost playing like they used to call it I think at Penn State they called it the hero backer, back in the day. He's almost got this safety cornerback linebacker hybrid
Rover
role.
back.
Everyone keeps talking about bumping him outside, but he needs to be inside because he's almost like a third safety there, in that nickelback position. And you saw it on his interception where he can, kind of drop back and Fangio zone and read what's in front of him. And he's just so good in the run game too. And I was interested because I knew the Lions, they have the personnel to kind of try to exploit that. With Gibbs coming out of the backfield with St. Brown in the slot, and you saw it a couple times, but he's just between Quinyon on the outside, DeJean kind of there in that almost like that, short fielder type position in the slot. And then, I mean, the biggest thing now is the actual edge rush out of Jalen Phillips. Yeah, they're really.
I don't want to slight anyone, right? Because you can go up and down the line. If you start with the line, the tackles were sensational yesterday. Swat, right? Phillips, I love Phillips, man. I love every time he speaks. I love the kid. I love everything about him. You have Nolan Smith back. BG makes a play. Ojimo was terrific last night. Then you go to the second level. Bones everywhere, right? N'Kobe Dean's terrific. He got coverage twice, once on Williams and the other one on Gibbs, and held up. And then you mentioned the secondary down to Dory Jackson, who makes 2 plays.
Yeah, I mean it's actually funny now, just thinking about it now that you're talking about Zach Bond. I think he's almost a testament to how much better the defense is this year because you don't see him as much. You don't see him as much. He's not saving them as much as I think about that. When he knocked down that pass to Jake Ferguson against the Cowboys in the season opener, and he chased down I don't know if it was Javonte or Miles Sanders from behind, but he's not. I didn't even really see him all that much last night. Because they don't need him to be.
And he led the team in tackles.
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah, they don't need him to be the one man wrecking. Kind of saving them the way they do. They're just so loaded everywhere. I think it's. And look, man, that team the Lions, they were 4-9, I think, on back-to-back road games. Goff is limited. Don't get me wrong, great player, but last night's conditions were not his forte. But it was the pass rush that you really noticed, and you've really noticed the past couple of weeks, and that's the one thing that's been, quote unquote, I guess you could say, missing from this defense going back all the way to last year. It's operating as high a level right now as it may. I mean, you could argue, at any point in time over the last 3 or 4 years, this is probably all of a sudden the best edge rush that they've had.
I'll tell you one thing. They tortured Goff. I don't know how he throws with gloves on. I just don't. It still bothers me.
I was looking at one of those.
I don't
instant
understand how he
replays.
does that. But all that said, and Fangio, you give him that kind of talent. I mean, he's going to give you last night. And you look at the offense, the field position that it got last night.
Yeah,
like they should have scored 30 by accident.
It's
Murph, can I just quote you from your article?
Yeah.
I thought it was great. A.J. Brown was wrong about one thing. The Eagles' offense isn't a bleep show. It isn't any kind of show at all. At this point, it's just plain old bleep.
That's such a great line.
It is. It's and like, look, we're holding them to I know everyone talks about thrill of victory and agony of reading it in the paper the next day, but like, look, this team has a certain standard, and that's what is jarring about watching last night, right down to that last failed tush push, where the things that they did last year, they're just not doing this year, and again, it's a compliment. Again, historically great team last year, historically great dominance out of the offensive line. That's talk about AJ, talk about the play calling. The biggest difference between this team is that they were averaging 6 yards per rush last year, and last night Saquon was lucky to get 3.2 yards per rush. I mean, that's where it all stems from. Great coaching starts with a great offensive line. Great passing, a great passing game starts with a great offensive line, and it all starts with being able to chunk off 6 yards whenever you want to. So the fact that they don't have
that's not entirely true, brother. You look around the league, right? Listen, I'll never argue a great offensive line, but you got to make plays in the pass game. You got to be able to make plays.
That's not who they are.
Not every passing team has a great offensive line.
It's not who they are, and that's the thing that's the disconcerting thing. That's the disconcerting thing about this team, because look, Hurts, we've said it going back 2 or 3 years. Game managers game manager's not the right word for it, but he's not he's not Drake May. He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not.
No, that's not who he is. You're exactly right. You know what scares me? That if he's not involved with the run game, he's Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
that's what scares me. Got to be involved in a run game.
I think Russ is I think that's a late stage Russ. I think that's a great comp for what we're seeing out of Jalen Hurts right now. And it's like, it's frustrating because it's back to the point where the intermediate, like the great quarterbacks, they win games between 10 and 20 yards between the second and third levels of the defense in the middle of the field. Like everything Hurts is throwing is either a lob down the sidelines or it's a designed kind of quick hitter. The fact that they're just kind of sacrificing between the hash marks, it just makes this team so easy to defend.
Right, and you had a team like the Lions that were decimated in the secondary with injuries.
Yeah, well, but let's not let AJ off the hook, because the one thing I noticed last night, anyone can say what you want, he is not the same player right now as he was. He's not winning at the point of attack. He's not winning out of his breaks. He used to be the guy, that slant that they ran. It was like refreshing to see. It brought tears to the eye early in the game. It was just 10, it might have been his longest completion, a 12-yard slant that a year ago looked like they could just dial up and call at any point in time.
That's why. Well, that's because they were impressed man. I don't know why in the world, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I would never press the Eagles. I'd never man the Eagles up. Never.
No, No, that's what they're doing. They're keeping they're really kind of bracketing. They've been bracketing AJ all season, but even when
Just
he
flood his
is,
zone, man. Give me an
even when,
over. I'll play three over. Go ahead.
but that the play where people are saying he gave up on the ball is a great example where he's just, I don't think he quote unquote gave up on it. I just think he was beat. Like he didn't have it. And he wasn't expecting to throw because of that. And you saw him kind of speed up again when he realized he was actually getting the ball, but he knew he was beat. He was, he didn't win that route. And I don't know if it's a health thing, the hamstring, the knees, whatever, but there's a reason. It's not just Hurts and Patullo's fault that he's not getting the ball. I mean, he's not dominating in tight spaces the way he did just a year ago.
But off of last night though, Devontae Smith against that secondary to get one catch for 8 yards is egregious. That's where Patullo, I go, what are you doing, Kevin?
But that's the dangerous thing about going into a game saying we got to get one guy going, because I think early on it almost looked like they were trying to feed AJ to the detriment of what might have actually been there, and I think that's AJ. I wrote this last week that that's the biggest argument to AJ. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie, I'm saying, look, man, get where you're coming from, but you got to understand the pressure you put on your play caller and your quarterback when you come out here and you make them think. When you're making them think going into the huddle, I have to get the ball to this guy or else I'm going to lose him. It's the Eagles have thrived over the last year, kind of taking what defense gives them, and when they've been at their best this year, it's been Goddard kind of picking up the open coverages given the way they're covering Smith and Brown. So yeah, I think I'm with you. I just don't know who to blame. It's all out of kilter right now.
Yeah, it really is. But here you go again. You're sitting at 8-2. You own the tiebreaker against everybody, just about and everybody that matters.
The best team in the NFC, and they're going to be. They should be in the Super Bowl. It's just they're more beatable this year than they were last year, and that's it's tough to watch when you watch a team that just couldn't be beat almost last year.
I know, it's wild, man. It's just completely wild. The whole story is it's a great story. They're never dull. Like, no matter what it is, they're never dull. And you know what's interesting? It's almost like, in a way, we're getting what we had always wished. We always wanted them to run the ball. And last year, we got a team that ran the ball. And we always loved defense. How many times we love defense? Where Philadelphia is a defensive town. Well, we got a great defense. So it's like we got a team that ran to the Super Bowl last year, and we're going to get a team that's going to attack its way on defense to a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and it's you can argue, defense is more reliable week to week. So like your defense, even a great offense is gonna have a playoff game. Where
they're the Lions, man. That's it.
But the fact that the Eagles are it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because they're more ready for the playoffs than any other team, and they've played 6 of the top 10 defenses in the NFL. It'll be 8 of 11 by the end of the season. Every week has been a test. And I feel Sirianni when he gets frustrated with the questions that he faces, because he's like, winning these games. Most teams in the NFL aren't winning these games. They're losing these games. You're watching a team like, the Chiefs lose to the Broncos the way they did last night. You're watching a team like the Chargers get blown out one every 5 games by teams that they should not be getting blown out by. You're watching a team like the Lions. Jared Goff. Imagine if Jalen Hurts had Jared Goff's game last night. I think the thing that, the one thing you'd like to see, as bad as Goff was last night and as pressured as they were, the Lions offense still looked like a higher functioning unit than the Eagles offense. You watched plays and you're like, oh, wow, I see what they did there. Whether it's Jameson Williams.
Yeah, man, right. I mean, they play action. That's how they do it. You're 100% right. It's the
So
truth.
it'll just be interesting how that plays out. I mean, like we've seen a lot of teams kind of Trent Dilfer their way to a Super Bowl title, and that's almost like where that's almost where the Eagles are right now. It's crazy.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Hang on one second. We are in overtime. OT, Murph. That's right. If you're watching on any of the other platforms, Roku, the Xfinity platform, Samsung, any of them, switch on over to YouTube. We are always here. Like, subscribe. It means a lot. It helps the algorithm.
The second Trent Dilfer mentioned today.
I know. Well, but it's
my buddies and I call it Tom. We actually call it Tomlining, Mike Tomlining, and the Eagles are like just Tomlining their way to wins right now, and that's a compliment. You know, it takes because they're better than any of these Steelers teams that have somehow gone 10-7. But it's just fascinating to see, given how much of a 180 it is from the 2022 team.
I know. Well, again, 2022 was RPO. Like, they won because he was a part of the run game. That's why he had success in the pass game, because teams were so afraid of him running the ball that you had to move his safety up, that you had to defend them differently. So the windows were wide open, so he threw the ball.
But I'll say this: if you want to take away, I mean, Lamar Jackson, ran 4 times for 10 yards or something like that yesterday. Jaden Daniels hadn't been running really all season. That they do this. They did it to Vic the year after, the year after he could have won MVP. I mean, it's if you want to take away, Bo Nix didn't do much yesterday with his legs. Teams counterpunch and they say, all right, we're going to take this away and make this a priority and see if you can then beat us. And it's on them to then beat you. I mean, look, Hurts. I'm not defending Hurts by saying, you can't ask too much out of him. I'm just saying you can't ask too much out of him. Like, there are plays there to be made. It's just not who he is. He's not. He's never been a guy that's gonna give Justin Jefferson his 5 50-50 ball type coverage every game, and it's worked for them because they win the turnover battle too. So they've always been a different team. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out this year.
All right, last thing. Where do you stand? Because I was infuriated by it. Second time in 2 weeks. Where do you stand on the non-punt by Sirianni?
It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I don't know what, like, they've got to figure out a way. Like, McVay used to have that coach, Ted Rath, he used to have him run a dog leash on the sidelines to make sure he didn't run out on the field. They got to have a dog collar on Sirianni. So because he has these one decision every game where he just needs a coach in the box.
Here you go. This dude, get this guy.
Yes, give him a button, and then
he's on the headset. I told him, I go, dude, would you just keep your boy in line and tell him punt.
Yeah, every coach should have a coach who's just the nah coach.
Right.
His only job is to sit there, and if there's a situation that where a coach needs to be told nah, don't do that. That's what Sirianni.
You're right.
That was the ultimate moment there. It was inexplicable. I don't even know what the analytic. It might have been the most lopsided anti-analytic decision ever made, because there's no way that going for it. The Lions had scored 6 points all game, and Eagles were up 2 possessions with 3 minutes left in their own territory. The only way the Lions could have gotten back in that game was if the Eagles had just handed them the ball there.
And he runs a play that had not been working all night.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lock. Like, what do you think?
Sirianni's just he's just got that little self-destructive streak where he
does. It's 2 weeks in a row. He can't. I get so angry. It freaks me out because here's the thing: if you're not going to be an offensive genius, and he's not, right? He's not an X and O. I can diagnose and fix the offense, which is a real problem right now. All right, you need that guy. You need Shanahan. You need McVay. You need one of those guys that can actually fix the offense. He's not that guy. Okay, that's fair. You got a lot of all the good qualities. The players love you. You're buttoned up. Your attention to detail. All that stuff's great. You got to get the game management stuff right.
I'm with you, man. And I frankly think it's like half the reason the Dolphins haven't fired Mike McDaniel yet, because I feel like they know the next week Mike McDaniels would be sitting with a consultant's job in the Eagles press box, kind of trying to fix this stuff. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Sirianni, it's the one thing he can't do. He's got to get all those decisions right. And I look, to his credit, he gets 95% of them right. And I agree 100% with the mentality where, anytime it makes sense, even if it's unorthodox to go for it, you go for it. And he's done it a million times where that's locked up the game. But that just wasn't the situation where it wasn't one of those things where even if they get it, Lions still have 3 timeouts and could get the ball back. It's not like this was like, you get the first down and the game's over. It was just unreasonable to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Murph, great stuff, buddy. As always, man. Always bringing it. Get some rest, pal.
I will, man. I can't wait to have my second cup of coffee.
Nice. Cheers, brother. Cheers. There he is.
Right,
Murphy Monday. David Murphy on the Xfinity mobile call-in line.
I'm just seeing people breaking down some of this offense, and it's brutal. I mean, Shane Half does a pretty good job. He's just saying it truly looks like one of the worst designed, coached offenses in the entire league right now.
Yeah.
Spacing, the routes, people are lethargic in their routes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I throw two? I got 2 slides up in Slack on the very first play of the game. He actually mentioned it. He's got the film, but I tried to break down what he's saying on here. So the first play of the game is a play action. And the linebackers all bite. Lions linebackers come in like...
Yeah, I remember liking the...
2 or 3 steps.
I remember liking the...
So
yeah.
He's got all the linebackers are in. They have no routes going across the middle of the field. They're both just sideline routes. Like, what is the point of that if you're drawing the linebackers in?
Okay, so you know why?
No, I'm asking you.
Because they don't want Jalen thrown over the middle of the field.
But the whole point of the play action is to suck the linebackers in to open up the middle of the field.
Right, but they're also thinking that they can get some sort of play outside the numbers. They don't like him, and it drives me nuts, right? Because it's like chicken or the egg, right? First, they don't trust him over the middle of the field, and he doesn't like to throw it over the middle of the field. So I don't know if it's more like, hey, we're not giving you options over the middle of the field because we don't trust you, or because you refuse to throw the ball over the middle of the field. Because there are times when it's the middle of the field and he's late and then he doesn't throw it. So I don't know.
It's just confounding.
I don't know who's at fault as to why.
That's later, and I mean, they're just running like sideline plays.
Well, I mean, that's what they do is outside the numbers.
Right.
Their whole offense is predicated, their passing offense, on low percentage throws outside the number. Well, hey, we didn't turn the ball over. We won the down. I mean, the only good thing last night is I didn't see any cowardly draws last night.
No.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at that right there on the logo. Look at that space.
Dude, how many times did I say over the middle of the field?
You had a guy
how
right there.
Boom. And that's not the quarterback. It's not who he is, right? He's got to be able to throw it. They have to run it, right? Now, I don't know why they designed it that way. My gut is they design it that way because he doesn't see the middle of the field.
It makes my head hurt because the whole point of the play action is to suck the linebackers in. The guys on the end aren't going to pay attention to the play action. You're still going to get the same coverage on the outside.
Or if you have man on the outside, you have man on the outside. Right. And you one of the reasons why you do that is you buy yourself time to throw the ball on the outside. That's the other reason why you have play action is that you're going to get time to throw the ball down the field.
In a situation,
that's why you do it. It's not just about the middle of the field. It's about buying time on the rush, and so your guys on the outside can get down the field on the play.
All right.
In a situation like this, though, if you have guys that are going to run down the sidelines, why can't you have one of those guys cut inward? If you have a guy cut in, you have an opportunity, especially in a spot, like this.
Yeah, but again, what he's trying to do is freeze the linebackers, right? and buy yourself time to get down the field. That's what they're doing. Now, again, I talk about it all the time. If you remember the Packer game, they were zoning up. There's windows in the middle of the field. And Jalen didn't see them. Or he was late. Remember Calcaterra?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like there was so it's Patullo and then it's Hurts. Right? So what's the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously Patullo, because the problem is this issue that we're talking about predates Patullo.
Right.
Do you remember the first 4 games last year?
Yeah.
Do you need to remember that?
No.
So there were issues before that too. The offense where the pass game worked in perfect harmony with the run game was the RPO offense of 2022. That was the offense. It's a college offense. It's the offense that Jalen has always flourished in.
Don't you think, though, like as a coach, it's your responsibility to get your player to play these plays, to scheme these up, like regardless of if he's comfortable or not? Like he's not going to learn to do something if he doesn't do it.
Got him to go be under center.
If you just play into his comfort level, then you're never going to be able to get him to do anything.
An issue throughout the last 5 years about the passing game and the comfort zone. That's what it is. A lot of guys do that. Jalen's not alone and wanting to do stuff that they're comfortable with. All quarterbacks are like that. I mean, it is what it is because you're also playing their skill set.
Sure, I just think that
he's not a guy that's going to sit back and dart. First of all, he's shorter. He's not going to sit back and go bing, 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 bing. It's not who he is.
I know that. I think we all can see that. It's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a coaching problem in some regard.
Well, good luck, man.
Good luck.
Because I don't know how you fix that. I don't like Patullo a little bit, right? I don't like his play calls. Like I thought last night, I actually liked the idea of him throwing. I wanted to come out throwing. I thought Jalen would throw for 250 last night. That's what I thought. With that kind of banged up secondary. And they had field position all night. Hey, real quick around the league. Michael Penix's potentially season-ending injury.
Jeez.
Rodgers, broken bone in his hand.
Yeesh.
Right?
Should have retired.
I mean, they got issues. How about Shador plays yesterday?
Yeah,
Did not look good.
Great.
What else we got?
Calvin Ridley came back for one game and then broke a bone. He's out for the season.
He's out.
He's cursed.
The worst of the worst is Darnold. Ew. He just threw up all over the field again. He does.
He's
like
another one of those guys.
That's why I can't take Seattle. The brain and I've been debating this all year, Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't take Darnold seriously because big game. He's a vomiter.
He's a vomiter.
He does.
I mean, hey, the Birds are 8-2. They've beaten everybody in the NFC.
Dude,
we're in good place.
I swear to God, they're going back to the Super Bowl.
I believe they are.
I believe they're going back to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win it again. This defense is great.
I'm with you. I think the offense we'll see some points against the Cowboys.
Well, come on.
Now the schedule opens up a little bit for them. That was a rough haul. These 10 games have been brutal.
Oh, here we go. Here's the alibi.
It's not an alibi. It's just reality.
It's not reality. It's an alibi.
Season opens up now.
When you have that field position last night and don't score, I don't care who you're playing. And they weren't the 85 Bears, all right? Their secondary was banged up. No excuse. I don't want to hear it. Nonsense. Who we got, Coach Mike? There he is. So Coach Mike is one of the best. I love him. Great listener from the radio days.
All right.
And now that we have Bitch and Complain back, VG,
we
get to visit with our friends.
Perfect.
So chat, this is Coach Mike.
What's up,
my brother?
How you doing?
How you been, buddy?
I'm good, man. Just living the life. You know,
so
I got
good
three
to
kids
see
now.
you, man.
I got 3 now. So I'm as good as you can be with 3.
God bless you. You moved in from man-to-man defense to zone defense.
Man, I'm telling you, we're handling it though. We're handling just as good as this Eagles defense are handling these offenses around the league. With the addition of Nakobe Dean coming back from injury, and the addition of Phillips at the trade deadline, oh my goodness, this defense is looking historically great. Historically, and this is the thing. This is the one thing that is our saving grace, and that's going to take us all the way. And it's funny that you mentioned Sam Darnold, and another one of those quarterbacks is Jared Goff that you can't always trust in those big time moments. And
Yes.
that's the reason why we're going to stick with Jalen, because even though we have these issues with Jalen, in the big time moments he does the opposite,
Yes.
and he rises to the occasion. But I want to talk a little bit about KP and this elementary offense that we have, because one thing that we're not realizing is when it comes to play calling, there's this art, and it's called sequencing, right? When we have a certain formation, maybe we do a certain motion with it, and then we run a play. Same formation, couple plays later, same motion, but then you run something completely different.
Yes. It's
We
called
do
setting the
not
team
do
up.
that.
Yep.
We do not do that.
Nope.
And this one thing that I've noticed when I go back and watch the film, when we come out in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, 89, 90% run. And our second tight end, Calcaterra, he's not even a good blocker.
No.
So to come out in those compact formations, every team knows we're running the ball. I don't know if you realize Green Bay, they were blitzing the safety from depth.
Now,
to
they
stack the
tried
box.
to do it last night when they went to Granson, and they tried to throw it off of that, but you're not good enough to do that. Like, see the Rams, you see it because you're Coach Mike. You see McVay, he's running 4 tight ends he's running. Like, and they all, you can all run it so many different ways because you can't match up.
And they do a good job of throwing the ball middle of the field to the flat, to the corner. They'll ISO Devontae on the outside, opposite of those tight ends, and run him on slants, fades. So they keep you guessing. You don't know if they're going to run to the tight end side, to the weak side, and the threat of the pass is there. The threat of the pass over the middle is there. So teams have to play them disciplined. They can't cheat. They can't overload one side or the other. Now, we came back to try to counter because we know Calcaterra can't block. We started running jumbo, but we couldn't run jumbo last night because Lane is hurt. So Fred Johnson has to come take his place. So we're dealing with a lot of hands tied behind our backs. Kevin Patullo, his hands are tied behind his back, whether you want to call it lack of experience or not a trust in Jalen. Jalen has one hand tied behind his back because he won't attack the middle of the field. And you have some of our offensive linemen playing with one leg because they're coming back from injury, attrition from last year. So it's a very complicated issue. Some people say it's Jalen's fault. I mean, he is missing some receivers.
I mean, obviously, it's Patullo and Jalen. I mean, let's face it. Patullo is not put in a position to succeed, and Jalen's again hesitating. And we saw against Green Bay, you got to let it go, dude. Like when they're
let the ball go.
Like Coach Mike, you know this stuff, right? You're inside it. You see it. How in the world? Why would you ever play the Eagles man? You would never play the Eagles man.
Let me take you through this, Ant. So the Eagles are in a bunch formation. Before the play, we could clearly see it's man coverage. You have A.J. Brown come on a shallow crossing route underneath from the outside of the bunch. You know the guy who has him is the corner on the very outside of the bunch. Wouldn't that be your hot route? The first thing you try to throw? He comes wide open. Jalen hits his back foot. Let me scramble. What? Let go of the ball. Throw the ball. And this is where things get disguised. And this is where the Eagles fans fall into 2 camps. Jalen scrambles, picks up 7 first down. People will say, oh, efficient. Oh, no turnover. Oh, yeah, Jalen. But then the other camp is like, you had a wide open receiver that could have turned that 7-yard gain into 15, 20. Later on in the season, that could be a touchdown that we need versus stop for turnover on downs. And that's the thing that we're dealing with. Now, the next question is it hurting us? We're 7-2. We're on top of the NFC. So you have people who are cautious saying this is a problem we need to address. Then you have people who are, hey, we're 7-2. We're winning. We're finding a way. But we don't want to turn into the Chiefs of last year, who were finding a way. They find their way to the Super Bowl, and then they get their butts beat by a team who've been progressively get better the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great analogy. Great analogy. That there feels like a fatal flaw that you can get away with it, but at some point you're going to run into a team that's going to expose it. Yeah.
At some point, you're going to need to complete that pass down the middle of the field to like a Calcaterra, right? At some point, you're going to need to be able to run a play action pass and hit a slant over the middle or a post over the middle in the intermediate.
I would love to see a post over there. I mean, when's the last time they completed a Devontae post?
At some point, you're going to need to involve. You're going to have to make up your mind. You're going to have to involve Jalen in the run game again. You're going to have to. At some point, you're going to.
VG?
I mean,
VG, how long have you been saying it, VG?
The chorus
at some point, you're going to have to stop protecting him and let him run the ball so you can have the backside of defenses respect the run again and respect the RPO again. Because all this protecting that you're doing, it's making our offense stale.
Dude, I miss you. Dude, I miss you.
I miss you too, Cuts.
I'm going to check Mondays in. With Coach Mike Breakdown. Yeah, we need every Monday a Coach Mike Breakdown. Coach Mike, can you tell me why Calcaterra is on the field for 34 plays and 30 of them he's blocking?
It doesn't make sense. And now, if he was a great blocker, like you had like Andrews over in Baltimore, if he was a great blocker, I would say, yeah, leave him there. But he's not a good blocker either. So you're sacrificing having another guy on the field to compress a formation, and you're not going to have variables off of it. You're not going to throw a tight end screen to him. You're not going to release him into routes. So if I'm a defense, I'm like, oh, Calcaterra's on the field, run. I'm as a defensive player myself, the one thing that I don't like is confusion. I want to know if this is a passing down, because then I get into my narrow stance. I get to fly off the ball. I want to know if this is a running down. I'm going to play.
Yeah, once you eliminate that, you're playing downhill.
Yeah. If I'm a defensive end linebacker, I don't want to blast off the ball if I know that they throw halfback screens like they hit us with Gibbs, right? If they throw screens, I'm going to be cautious coming off the ball.
Yeah.
If I'm a D tackle and they run traps and wham blocks, I'm going to be a little cautious. We don't do any of that.
No, nothing. How much misdirection? We run no misdirection.
Even if have you seen a reverse? Have you seen an end around?
No.
Have you seen
I haven't even seen any ghost movement for that stuff.
You have McVay having his tight ends fake a fall on a block and then get up and then leak to the opposite side for I'm telling you, right now they're playing a risk averse.
Yes.
Let's just make it to the end of the game, because they know they have Jalen, who's that secret weapon, who just seems to have this
winning DNA
following there. Yeah. So right now, can you complain? Can you argue with it? I mean, Nick got chesty last week in his press conference saying, I think the way we've played won us a couple games in the past 2 seasons. And I nodded. I didn't like that. He was a little chesty there, but I'm like, can you argue with the man?
Yeah, except, dude, punt the freaking ball, dude. Punt it 2 times in a row. He almost
my wife
lost
and I,
the game.
My wife and I argued about that last night. I said, I'd like the call. She said, never. She said, punt the ball. Never. I said, I would have done it.
You would have did that?
I have a little bit of Nick in me. Just a little bit.
No, man. Like, You can't lose the game unless you give them points. You can't
Goff
lose it.
I think they said at that point, Goff had completed only 3 of his last 13 pass attempts. So in that case, you're right. Punt the ball. Punt the ball. Because he's not going to complete more than 3 more in the last,
No,
2 minutes.
I mean
of
the way
game?
the way the defense, that defense is awesome. Awesome. Now I'm with you, brother. Listen, it's so good seeing you. You got to
Good seeing
call
you
each
too.
week, all right?
Will do. I'll talk
Coach
to you
Mike.
soon.
You're the man,
All right,
buddy.
bye.
Love Coach Mike. Man. I used to look forward to his calls every week.
Yeah, he's good.
He's very good.
Yeah.
He coaches it. He coaches.
You can tell.
Yeah, at high school. Yeah, like he's sharp guy, man.
Wish he was coaching the Eagles offense.
He's a defensive guy. Really good. Really good. Sharp guy. All right. I love it, man. We're getting our callers back. Yeah, man. It's awesome.
We do have an Uncle Frank video.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Let's play it.
Play it.
Play it.
Full disclosure, despite the fact I'm a little scared, I just pushed off the dock with one oar in the boat of the Nervine. I believe the Eagles prevail. I do. I think Carter and Phillips feast tonight, particularly if
this is
Sewell
before the
out.
game.
I believe Dean or Bond can hold Gibbs and keep him in check.
The wiggle.
Driving barefoot, too?
Of course, Mitchell will smother Brown and keep the Holy Spirit from getting between them.
The wiggle.
Take the feet, dude.
Unsure if Barkley will go off, but Smith and Goddard.
He's got
shall
talent.
It's like he just came out of the lagoon
All
or
that
something
being
with those
said,
feet.
CB2 versus Williams and the Hurts
man.
Brown connection is
This
the
should have come with a
impetus
warning.
for setting sail.
Graphic video.
Unfortunately, currently I'm going in circles with
Creature of
one
the
oar.
Skookle.
But news at 11.
He's got to do post game. You can't do pre game.
Yeah, this is what is he doing?
It's a violation. And the feet.
Oh,
the
my God.
feet are
Yeah,
big.
the toe wiggle.
The feet, they're creature. Vinci's right. He looks like ET feet.
Yeah, dude. And he he spreads out the toes.
Yeah. Come on, Uncle Frank. That's violation. You can't do the video pregame.
Frank went from we had his foot in a shoe. He's going off with the feet now.
Yeah,
Way too much.
Yeah. And it's a creature thing. You're right. You're exactly. It's a great line, BG. Creature piece right there. All right. Let's go back in the day.
All right.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark. Oh, yeah.
All right. Back in the day with Schumark, baby.
I don't know the math on this, but we're going back a ways. 1968, November 17th. It's the Heidi game. Do you know what the Heidi game is?
I do. I've heard it in lore.
So it's Jets Raiders. Raiders are losing with a minute left. Jets are up, and NBC cuts to the movie of the week at 7:00 because they were on a tight deadline. The movie Heidi, a children's movie, had to start on time at 7. On the East Coast, they cut away, and New York fans did not see the end of the game. The whole East Coast missed the game, where the Raiders scored 2 touchdowns in the final minute to win it.
Oh, my God.
And it is the last time that NBC has ever cut away from a game at the end and pushed everything back.
Could you
because
imagine?
People lost their minds. They were calling they said people were calling the police stations like, yo, NBC, cut away. They got overwhelmed with responses. So yeah, that is the last time that's ever happened.
Could you imagine you're an Eagles fan, they cut away to go to Heidi? Heidi.
And they put the final score up during Heidi.
Was she like in Switzerland? Like in the mountains?
Yes, it is something like Switzerland. Yes.
That's a stone violation.
That's the Heidi game. Change the way sports and programming are covered on Sundays.
Yeah. It's weird.
Guy's name is Julian Goodman, NBC president, who sent out the memo saying Heidi must start on time earlier in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get that. Hopefully he got fired after that. You bastard. All right, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Fun day. Defense. Defense.
It ain't ugly, but we winning.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Defense is pretty.
Beautiful.
Yes. Everybody have a great day. We love you. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.